It's God. It's God. It's God. Not you. It's God. Not you.
In jail. What's in jail? What's in jail? What's in jail? What's in jail? What's in jail?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. Okay, so Logic is not back yet. He should be back Wednesday. All right, so we're back again for another stream. Shout out to Jai&Doc and David Wood for holding it down while Logic is out. Today's topic is going to be an interesting one. This is actually my favorite one. I like arguing with Muslims more so about scripture, what they mean, what they say, is it valid, and basically, did your prophet know what he was talking about? So this one is perfect. Is the Quran preserved? Jai has presented some damning information over the past couple of years. David Wood as well. And I've also dove into this a little bit as well on TikTok and on YouTube as well with some of the books that I've been reading. And we can clearly see that the letter for letter, word for word, dot for dot, one Quran narrative is absolutely false. But the Muslims will just continue to make excuses. Now, every Quran that has a variant is now the Quran. It's just a different Quran, which is the same Quran, which is another Quran, but it's all one Quran. Makes absolutely no sense. And when you take them down the road, they just end up throwing it all under the bus and saying, well, it doesn't matter because everyone memorized the Quran. So, yeah, gotcha. We don't need manuscripts anymore. We still win. So, David, I see smiling at that.
Yeah, life. See what you don't understand. You don't understand basic math. You've got the 7 Qurans, or the 10, or the 14, or whatever you want to say. But let's just say it's the 7, and you take those 7 Qurans, which are all different from each other, and yet they add up to one Quran. So what you don't know is that 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 1 in Islamic mathematics. That's how things work.
Wow. I get it now. See, I understand why they say one Quran. Okay. My math is off. That's what it is. My math is all off. What's up, John? How you guys doing, man?
Hey, how you guys doing? God bless. Happy to be here. I want to say, as Christians, I was reminded of James chapter 4. I was reading that earlier, and it says, always say Lord willing, because you don't actually know like the future. So last week we told you guys, hey, I said specifically, hey, Avery's gonna be back Monday. You guys will have Avery back. Well, whatever God's will is, that's what's gonna happen. That's not end up happening today, but like Life said, God willing, Lord willing, he'll be back on Wednesday. Keep praying for him and his new wife. Pray the Lord blesses them in their marriage, their honeymoon. And yeah, let's share the get the likes up for him, and show some support.
Yes, the streams are doing pretty good. Jai, your audio is a little choppy, and maybe your connection, you may be coming in a little laggy or whatnot. I don't know if a refresh will work on your end, but yeah, guys, thanks for the previous live streams. I mean, all of them are still performing really well. You guys are hitting that like button, coming back, sharing them, and getting them out in the feed. So we really do appreciate that. So let's go ahead and keep that going. We got about 600 something people in here so far. So we should have 600 likes, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So make sure you guys hit that like button, share the live out. And this is a call to Muslims. We have a link up, Muslims. If you feel like your Quran is preserved, if you feel like there's only one Quran, feel free to come up and challenge David Wood and Jai&Doc, man. They got all the answers for you right now.
Hey, Life.
Yeah.
When you were talking earlier, see, these are the things that always make me like pause, but they don't make Muslims pause, and Muslims just keep going after it happens. But anyway, you mentioned that we were told for years about the perfect preservation, dot for dot, letter for letter preservation of the Quran. It's miraculous. It can only be explained by Allah miraculously preserving this book, that every single manuscript on the planet would match up dot for dot, letter for letter, in perfect fashion.
Right.
So for years we were told that, and you had Christians who were responding in different ways. You had people like me who would just point to what the Muslim sources said about the preservation of the Quran. So we'd point out, wait a minute, why is Uthman burning all these Qurans? Because the difference is, if there are no differences, doesn't make any sense. Why do you have this passage about 200 verses coming up missing from Surah 33? Why do you have this here? Why do you have this passage in Sunan ibn Majah 1944 about verses coming up missing because Aisha's sheep ate them? That doesn't sound like perfect preservation. So you had that approach, which was just like people like me. We're just quoting the Hadith and so on, seeing what they say. Then you had the people who were comparing manuscripts, right? That like they're actually setting down manuscripts and so on. And most recently, this has been Dan Brubaker and so on. And he actually made videos where he's got different pages, different manuscripts of the Quran side by side and showing all the differences. And he made one video where it's like 11 textual variants on one page of one manuscript and so on, which is weird because, perfect preservation, there are no variants. And so you had people who were actually comparing manuscripts. And then you had people who were, and Hatun sort of popularized this, actually taking different Qurans from different parts of the world today and showing that you have differences in different Qurans in the world today. So anyway, for years, people were blasting away at this claim and exposing it as false. And it didn't matter which direction you went in, it turned out to be false. But Muslims just kept saying it until the infamous holes in the narrative interview, when Sheikh Yasser Qadi got really uncomfortable being asked questions about the preservation of the Quran, and he just kept insisting you should not be having this discussion. You should not be having this discussion in front of people. It's like, what are you talking about? You're literally one of the guys who spread this perfect preservation myth, and you don't want to talk about the preservation of the Quran. His dad before him was one of the people who spread this perfect preservation myth, and so that's when it really became obvious to lots of people, and they're all that there are differences in the Quran. And then people started finding out about differences in the Qiyat and so on. But then this is the point I was trying to make. Then Muslims just go on as if nothing ever happened, right? There's, we of course there are different Qurans. Of course there are different Qurans, but they all very, very similar, and it's basically the same thing. That's all we've been saying. It's like, that's not what you said at all.
Exactly.
That's what boggles my mind. They can lie. Flat out lie for decades, and then you expose their lie, and then they change what they were saying, and then they just move on as if nothing ever happened. It's like, whoa, you guys just lied to us. And as we piled on evidence, more and more evidence from your sources, from manuscripts, from different Qurans in the world today, you called us liars every single step of the way, until the evidence became so overwhelming that it forced you to acknowledge that there are differences in the Quran. And then you just go on as if nothing just happened. You guys just spent decades lying to us. And then
when the guy says, you know what? You're right. There are holes in the narrative. Oh, he's not Muslim. He's a kafir. And he's like,
but we're all just supposed to move on like as if their entire community didn't just lie to us for decades. And it's like,
right.
How are we supposed to trust? Imagine you meet someone and he spends decades lying to you. All this guy tells you is lies. And then he says, okay, yeah, I was lying for all those decades, but here's the new thing I'm telling you. Wait, what? Why am I supposed to take you seriously? You're a liar. You're a liar. And that was the entire Dawa community. And it's just, the Dawa community is founded on nothing but lies. And it's just amazing to me that it never seems to bother their fans, right? Like if I were a fan and you, after decades of lying to me, got exposed as a liar, and then you tell me something else to believe, I'm like, how could I possibly believe in you? You're a liar. Yep. But it doesn't matter to the Muslim. You can have, so they can, their Dawa guys can come out to them, perfect preservation, dot to dot, dot for dot, letter for letter, it's perfect, it's miraculous. And Muslims, alhamdulillah, it's perfect, it's miraculous. And then we can expose the Dawa guys so much that they eventually, okay, we've got different Qurans, but it's different dialects. And Muslims, alhamdulillah, it's just different dialects. That's all it is, different dialects. And then we can expose that. And then, okay, it's not different dialects. It's all kinds of different things, but it's still just one Quran. They'll go, alhamdulillah, it's just one Quran. It's like, how come it never bothers you that the people you get your information from are the biggest bunch of liars I've ever seen in my life? How is that? I'm just saying, from a Christian perspective, there are Christian apologists that I like and that I listen to. If all of a sudden one of these guys is exposed for lying for decades, I'm probably not going to believe much of what he says anymore without seriously verifying it.
Right.
I wouldn't trust you if you tell a bunch of lies. I'm not going to trust you when you're telling me the next thing. In Islam, it's just not like that. It's, oh, of course, all our Dawa guys are the biggest bunch of liars the world has ever seen. That's just Islam. And
especially when
amazing.
especially when they talk about it. For example, when they talk about the Quranic preservation, and you get a guy who studied the variants, who studied the manuscripts, they go on, and like you said, they I don't even think that they admit, right? It's something that we have to get out of them ourselves, which is, hey, we just exposed your claim. And like you said, they just move on.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we're like, oh, okay, well, obviously you realize that these guys are lying to you, but you don't actually want to say that. You just want to move on. And that's what frustrates me when I'm talking to Muslims, because they just move on from it. It's like, so you're not going to say anything about, so now preservation doesn't matter, right? Like, I mean, goodness, I never understood how they can just do that. I'm going to make this bold claim for Islam being true, and then all of a sudden, when it gets falsified, we just move on. We don't even address how it was falsified.
Yeah, and it's on every issue, right? Like whether they were responding to a criticism of Islam or offering an argument for Islam. It's like this with every issue. So way back in the day when they were arguing that Muhammad must be a prophet because his character is so wonderful and perfect, and we bring up things like Muhammad and Aisha, back then we were called liars. We were called total liars for saying that Muhammad had sex with a 9-year-old girl. So we spent years showing them their sources that Muhammad had sex with a 9-year-old girl. And the Dawa guys are telling Muslims the entire time that we're lying. Eventually we pile on so many sources that they eventually have to admit Muhammad had, well, no, at first it was we're lying, we're making this up. Then after we keep showing the sources, then it's, oh yeah, some sources say that, but other sources say something different. And that turned out to be a lie. And then now they basically all admit it, except for some that deny the sources and so on. But it's like, wait, why did you call us liars for telling we told the truth about your sources. You were the guys who were lying, and we eventually expose you as liars. And then you say, oh yeah. Of course, Muhammad had sex with a 9-year-old girl. And then you move on as if you didn't just lie all these years. So It's like that. It's like that when we were criticizing Islam, they would call us liars until the evidence became so overwhelming that they couldn't deny it. It's like that with the scientific miracles. It's like that with the perfect preservation of the Quran. And it's like that with pretty much anything they use for apologetics. They either have to lie about it or just massively exaggerate something. So for instance, there have been Muslim philosophers and mathematicians. As Islam expanded, they would conquer new areas and have access to new books and so on. Then some of the Muslims would learn this stuff, and some of them would become like a philosopher or a mathematician or something like that. Never survived in the Muslim world. It eventually fades out. Everything gets squashed by Islam. But so what you'll have a Muslim mathematician who is important in the history of mathematics, but they can't just say, hey, we have a mathematician, Al-Jabr. We have an important mathematician who made contributions to mathematics. They can't just leave it at that. We invented algebra. It's like, no, the Babylonians did algebra. Like the Indians did algebra. The Chinese did algebra. Everyone did algebra. You had a mathematician who helped develop it later. Why do you constantly have to make things up and exaggerate? And anyway, it's this weird thing where you've got an entire community that accepts the idea of lying for their religion. And if you ask them, they'll say, no, we don't. They show by their actions they do. They show by their actions they do. Show me a Dawa guy, a popular Dawa guy who isn't the biggest liar you've ever seen in your life. You can't.
You can't. Prince Haruna, are you here?
Yes, I am live. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Are you a Muslim, brother?
Yeah, you don't remember me? Or because of TikTok?
Oh yeah, I think I remember your voice. Okay, how's it going, man? So today's topic is the Quran preserved, man? Are you?
Yes, yeah. Is Every here?
Yeah, he's right there. The Dizzle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
white.
that's new guy. I don't know him.
I'm White Avery. They call me White Avery.
Yeah? White Avery. What's your name?
Ebony and White Avery. Yep.
What's your name, brother?
David.
Avery, God Logic. That's God Logic right there. The Dizzle son.
Yeah. So, what was the question? Because I hear about the preserve of the Quran, and then I hear about that was it, right? Is it the Quran?
It's basically, so for years, Muslims told us that the Quran's been perfectly preserved, dot for dot, letter for letter. There's only one Quran. There's no variants anywhere. I have Muslim apologetics books making this claim and so on. We spent years exposing this as a complete lie, and now Muslims admit that there are different Qurans in different parts of the world and that there are manuscripts differences and so on. But we still find that there are Muslims who insist that there's something amazing about the preservation of the Quran, but we're just not seeing it. I mean, you look at basically the history of the preservation of the Quran. The first generation of Muslims couldn't even agree on which chapters were supposed to be in the Quran. So Ibn Masud said that the Quran's only supposed to have 111 chapters. He didn't believe that Surah 1, Surah 113, or Surah 114 are supposed to be in the Quran. He said, these are prayers. That's us talking to Allah. That's not Allah talking to us. So he said, don't include those chapters. You had Ubay ibn Ka'b, who said, who agreed with the 114 chapters that are in the Quran today. And he had 2 additional chapters, which were 2 additional prayers. And so Zayd ibn Thabit, who compiled today's Quran, he basically took a middle of the road approach. Okay, some people don't put any of these 5 prayers in. Some people want all 5 of the prayers in. Let me take 3 of the prayers and leave 2 out. And so these are the kinds of things you find early on. And then you have people dying dying in battle. And they turned out to be the only people who had passages of the Quran memorized. And so passages of the Quran were lost. In fact, that was the reason for turning the Quran into a physical book at all. It was to prevent more of the Quran from being lost. Anyway, we look at this, and we wouldn't care much. We wouldn't care much about this. It could be difficult work at preserving books over long periods of time, but Muslims. But again, it's Muslims spent years perfect dot for dot, letter for letter preservation, claiming that it's a miracle, and we've never seen it. So we're kind of giving Muslims an opportunity to explain what they mean, or to tell us how the Quran is. If there's anything special about the Quran's preservation that we're missing, because to us it looks like any other book that's been copied over time. So that's what we're doing.
Okay. That's actually easy, David.
What's easy? I don't know what's easy.
That's actually easy to prove. First of all, let me
hang on. What's easy to prove? We don't know what you're talking about. What is easy to prove?
He asked many questions. You didn't hear them. I'm gonna answer one by one.
Okay. Yeah,
I think he's saying everything that you said is easy to disprove.
Oh, okay. Wait, disprove what? Everything I said is directly from his sources. That's the problem. So
no. I didn't say it's easy to disprove. I say it's easy to answer. I'm gonna answer.
Okay. That's fine. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, first question you say about someone. The Sahabi who say that the Quran that we should not put in the Quran because they are talking to God and not God talking to us. First of all, one of Imam of mine, I asked the same question. He tell me that if those verses were not in the Quran, were only by memorized, some people who have brought the problems. You know why problems? Because they will say we don't see what we are reading, we are just memorizing. We know we talk to God, same as many duas. You know, it's only not all the Quran that's word of God. There are some hadith also, like the 5 prayers. They are also in the Quran, but also explained with Prophet Muhammad. Those are word of God too. So another question is, we have even in my house right now, me and my brother, me and my cousin, I call him my brother, we have this different way of pronunciation about the Quran. He is Warsh, I'm Hafs. When we pray, like when we say a small surat, like the first surat, Suratul Fatiha, when we say Maliki Yawmiddin, he say Maliki Yawmiddin. You know, I put an alif before ma, but he don't put an alif, because in English it translates, when I read Maliki Yawmiddin, it say the king of the day of judgment. Man, when he say Maliki Yawmiddin, he say the owner of the day of judgment. So there is no there is nothing that disapprove. Even I say is the king or the owner of the day of judgment. We don't disapprove each other. We just say in our different way. So the different recitation doesn't commit, because when the fault, the mistake comes when you change the entire word. Like when someone say iyyaka na'budu and they say iyyaka na'budu, because when you say iyyaka, when you put the little spoon there, you mean you say we for you who we pray. That means you God. But when you say iyakana, you say for you the sun. When you say we pray to the sun. So if it doesn't change the meaning of the Quran, and it just change one word like the king or the owner, it does make many very different. So the 7 different recitation, it still preserve the Quran, because we even have the Quran from the time of Uthman. Just even Uthman had the Quran that I'm reading is the 7 recitation that he brought, but is not really the different Quran. No, it's not, because even Surah Al-Baqarah, my cousin, his side of Warsh, mine have 286 ayat in Baqarah, but he have 290. It's not that is different. It's just some long ayah have been cut shortly. You understand? Like like Ayatul Kursi. My Ayatul Kursi, Surah Al-Baqarah is 1 chapter, 255. But in his Quran is two chapters. It's been cut in 2 because it's too long. But it's still the same thing. So if you have any other question, please.
Yeah, a couple. So on the issue you brought up, you said king is not terribly different from owner. I'd say those are different meanings, but if you had passages of the Quran where it did give a different meaning, or perhaps even a contradictory meaning, would you think that that's a problem?
Yes. If there is a Quran that give a different meaning of the one that I'm reading, yeah, there is a problem.
Interesting. Jai and DOC, you guys there?
Yes, we are.
Is there anything that, so he pointed out, and I'm sure there are a couple issues here, Prince Haruna. So on the issue, like you were just bringing up, king versus owner. Here's the thing. Me as an individual, I wouldn't have a problem with that, right? I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I would look at it as, okay, at some point, some scribe or some reciter, he hears it, it sounds very similar, or he writes it and he makes a mistake, and that's how you end up with it. And I wouldn't have a problem with that. Human beings make mistakes. I wouldn't have a problem with that. When you claim perfect dot for dot, letter for letter preservation of the Quran from the time of Muhammad or Uthman down to the present, and then you have something like that, I say, okay, you've got a difference there. That's an issue. But for argument's sake, we can go ahead and grant, okay, no problem if it's not a wildly different meaning. But I think there are some passages where you actually get different meanings. So, Jai and DOC, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that, I mean, part of what he said was wrong, but just in terms of Malik Yawmiddin, he got the meanings mixed up. Malik actually means king, whereas Malik means owner. But we can go to a specific example that actually has a contradiction in its meaning. And I'll put it on the screen. So, Prince, I'm going to show on the screen right now, chapter 10, verse 16 in the Quran.
Yes.
Do you know Arabic, first of all? We just want to know how far we can expect from
No, I
you.
don't know Arabic, but I can read. I can read the Quran.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean, you have to verify what we're saying then, if you know, with someone who speaks Arabic. But we've translated it all here. But okay, let's just read this verse first. This is chapter 10, verse 16.
Okay, do you know this verse?
No, I don't know it.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna tell you because it doesn't help that you don't know it. But anyway, so here Allah is telling Muhammad, if we had willed, meaning if Allah had willed, he would not have recited, Muhammad would not have recited the Quran to you, or Allah wouldn't have given it to him. You see that? It says, say, had Allah willed, I would not have recited it to you, nor would he have made it known to you. I have lived my whole life among you before this revelation. Do you not understand? Have you even heard of this verse?
No. Well, no, I haven't heard it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's Surah 10, verse 16.
So this is just the key part that we want to focus in on.
What's the name of the surah?
It's Surah 10.
See, Surah Yunus. I think Surah Yunus, right?
Yeah, Surah 10. If you open your Quran,
Yeah, Yunus.
yeah, Surah Yunus, Surah number 10.
Wait. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, as you pull it up, we'll just highlight the key difference here or highlight the difference here that we're going to bring up.
Okay, so you must know the word la, L-A, lam alif means no. You should know this much at least.
Yes,
here?
yes, I know those.
Yeah, so la means no or not. Okay, so this is this Hafs or Warsh?
Hafs.
Is Hafs, okay.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to show the same exact verse, but in one of the readers according to Ibn Kathir. So one of Ibn Kathir, not the commentator, Ibn Kathir, the reader, he had a transmitter named Qunbal, and this is how he would read the verse.
Okay, so the word in question is in your Hafs is wala adrakum, meaning he would not have made it known to you.
Highlighted here in the green, and then
Okay, in Qunbal it's wala adrakum,
highlighted here in the yellow.
which means he would have made it known to you. So the alif is taken out from the la.
So it turns it from a negation to an affirmation. Negation to affirmation.
So in Hafs he says no, I would not make it known, and in Qunbal he says I would make it known.
So
it's
just to be clear, it's a difference if I say like, hey, I'm going to come over here, I'm going to give you a sandwich. Or I say, if you come over here, I'm not going to give you a sandwich. That'll be like the opposite meaning, right? The opposite. So you got opposite meanings in the Quran?
Exactly
opposite.
This is the Bridges translation, and this is, as far as I know, it's the only translation available of the Qur'at into English, as a whole volume. He tries to, the guy's name is Fadl Soliman, and he's an Egyptian Muslim. I forget what he's a scholar of, but he translated this work, and so it's available in English. You can get like a PDF form. I think there's also an app for it as well. Yeah. And what he does is he will note down 30% of the differences between the 10 different readings. 30% of them, he says that 30% of them actually change the meaning entirely. 30%. So he translated the ones that he thinks changed the meaning. He didn't do a complete job, but he did 30%.
You know why? Because there's so many.
so you see here.
One second. Did you say that?
Fadl Soliman. Yep.
Did you say that this is available from a PDF file?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's available online. You just need to write Bridges translation of the Quran, Fadl Sulaiman. Okay,
so we've got the Quran from a PDF file.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, PDF file, exactly.
Oh, sorry, we didn't catch that. We caught the joke too late because we're not that sharp.
So you'll see, even he's a Muslim translator, and he actually, in his footnotes here, you see in his text here, there's a little 1. So what you do is, if you have the app, you click on the 1, and then it brings you down to the footnote, and then he brings in the different readings. So the Qira'at are the variant readings. Al-Bazi is one of the readers of Ibn Kathir, also Qunbal as well. And he says, this is how Al-Bazi read it. He would have informed you, and then in the standard or the majority reading, it says he would not have informed you. So again, Muslim translator, you don't need to trust us. This is a Muslim translator, and like David said, it's I'll give you a sandwich, I will not give you a sandwich. It's completely opposite in meaning. So Prince, I'm sure you're looking it up right now, but we have
Yes, I'm looking at it.
yeah.
Okay, good.
So I
Yes,
mean,
I even have my Quran in the hands.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's where we're pointing out, Prince. So when
Yes.
Muslims were claiming perfect dot for dot, letter for letter preservation, and then we would see differences like king or owner.
Yes.
Then the story changed and said, the meanings complement each other. Yeah, there are different words and different meanings, but they complement each other. And so you'd say, okay, maybe that's why there are these differences. But then, as Jai and DOC just pointed out, then you have issues where the meaning completely contradicts. The meanings contradict each other, and as you pointed out, that would be a problem for the idea that these are all somehow from
Yes,
God.
yes, I know. The Quran that I have in my hand is Hafs, and it's the first it's the first surah, the ayah when Jai&Doc shows about negative. He say when if God wanted, I would have not recite this to you.
Right.
That's the Quran that
Yep.
I have.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's
So
the
the second one was worse, you say?
No. So
Humble.
yeah, Konbol. So basically,
And
Ibn
Campbell
Kathir, his screen reader.
is one of the 7 recitation, right?
Yes, one of the
Yes,
7.
he is. But you also find it in others like al-Bazzi.
Well, they're both under Ibn Kathir though. So he has
Because
so
I
basically-
believe one of the student when he come to our school, he said that one day he brought a Quran. He said this Quran was mistaken and everything, and so our teacher what did they want to tell us, but he said this Quran is from other group of Muslim those who are not really like Muslim. They curse
yeah, no,
about
these are oh no, these are not Shia or whatever. These
No.
are Sunni accepted readings of the Quran. They're part of the tradition of the 7, the 10, the 4. They're part of that.
Can I see the Quran again? The one that say I would give. I want to see the Arabic verse.
Okay,
Okay.
here you go. Actually, we'll put this one up.
Prince, did you say that your imam didn't want to tell you?
No, because in our mosque we don't like to, we say Allah will deal with them in the day of death. Because there are people who say, "Oh, Shia not Muslim, may Allah curse them." We don't like to curse other people. We Mawati they tell us just focus on the Quran and Sunnah. So if you hear someone cursing the Sahabi or the Prophet, the wife of the Prophet, so don't curse him back because you will be in the same group as him. Just leave it to Allah.
We're talking about the Quran though, not the.
Yes. So if they change the Quran too, it's our problem to us too.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
you
they
think
changed the Quran. Well, so this is so anyway. Here it is on the screen here. If I don't know if you want to take a screenshot of it or if you want to just read it for yourself.
No. Okay.
Do you see the difference?
No. The one you say the kubul.
Kunbal. Yeah.
Yeah, zoom that one because I don't know about that. Maybe I will ask
can we
around
zoom
because
one?
I really don't know about that.
Okay.
Yes, please. Thanks.
So this requires a little bit of knowledge of like
Arabic.
the signs of not just Arabic but like just the signs as well, like what the symbols mean. We have a thing on that as well. But yeah, so do you see it here?
If you
Yes,
read
I see it.
Yeah.
But wait. This one start with Allah and the other one start with.
It should
No.
start with Allah.
Right here
It actually starts with Qul.
on the top.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it starts with Qul, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a line stopped.
Yeah.
So do you see the Hafs that you have, Prince? The
Yes.
la has
The Hafs that I have.
Yeah, good. You see the la has a madda. I don't know what you call it in your language. You have to say la, elongate it.
It has a madda, yeah.
Madda, yeah. Now,
put it
if you look, the qumbul doesn't have that madda. Do you see
It
that?
have a school.
Exactly, because it's not the same. It's
Like I told David, if you change not the whole letter, if you change just one single things, like not a letter but just one single thing from above, you change the meaning. That's why there
Exactly.
are some Quran that doesn't have those fatha, school.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just Quran like
The problem is though that Prince is that this Quran has a chain of narration, just like your Hafs or your cousins Warsh. Just like them, they say this person learned it from this person, all the way back to Muhammad. So today, Muslim scholars will tell you, Sunnis will tell you that all of these are divinely inspired, and there's no errors, no contradictions in them. But as you can see, I don't know if you've admitted it yet, but you can see, we can go to commentaries if you want to,
Yeah.
where it's very
Mhm.
clear.
No, no,
Like
no, no. I really believe that because you say it's from Kimball. I don't really know much about Kimball. I know three. I know Hafs, Warsh, and the other one. I don't really know all seven
that's
because
that's
I'm
fine. But we'll
yeah.
even show some commentaries for you. So here's Tafsir Jalalain, a commentary, popular commentary, and we just just the highlighted parts here.
Yeah. So this is just so you can show your imam or whoever you're gonna ask. If you go to Tafsir al-Jalalain, which is easily seen in English as well,
Yeah.
It actually says that in
A variant reading.
a variant reading, like a qira'a, it has the lam. Do you see in the yellow? La adrakum. He would have made it known to you.
So
Yes,
look
yes.
at the two blue highlights. Nor would he have made it known to you versus he would have made it known to you. So they have like the reasons for trying to justify the different readings, but the point is that they're contradictory in meaning.
Yeah, and that's the problem. That's what you said to David, that if there's a contradiction, there's a problem. Now, if
Yeah,
you like,
that's why I have we have here in our school we have like three different imam. The one came from Saudi and one came from Sudan, and another one came from Indonesia. So when we have question like that, they all have different knowledge, and they already explain us everything. So that's why I screenshot that, and
Okay.
I'm gonna show it to them. Maybe they will have more explanation, and next time, inshallah, when I come back, I will give it to you because like right now, the thing I'm reading, I'm through Yasin. That's until there I'm no, I know Yasin till Yasin from other surat, and I have a little bit knowledge, not at the point of become a imam or sheikh.
okay,
So
when you
that's
ask,
why I saw this Quran preserve and
Okay.
seven different.
So yeah,
I understand.
we just want to show you like the seven. These are the seven readings on the top, and these are the three that are added later. So you guys have 10 total readings, and then you combine the different transmitters, and you have like 20 as total. But you can see here from Mecca, Ibn Kathir, again, not the commentator, but the reader from Mecca, 8th century. One of his readers, Al-Bazi, Qunbal. These are the. This is what we're talking about right now. And then basically all of the other ones, whether you go to Hafs, whether you go to Warsh, whatever one you want to go to, they're all going to read it the other way. So just wanted to show you because you said you don't know all of the readings. So here's like a list if you wanted to screenshot this as well and show these are the authoritative readers that Ibn Mujahid and then later on someone called Ibn al-Jazari chose.
yeah, so it's not someone
And
who came that
yeah,
anything. And if you can
is there anywhere else where the Kumbul contradict the Hafs?
I mean, yeah, we have other contradictions, but in terms of it being Kumbo specifically, we have multiple other examples we can show you. But let's just work with this one for now, and let's say like, okay, this is true. We're not misleading you here. The commentaries are translated properly and everything else. What do you make of that? I mean, we're not trying to push you into giving an answer because you said you have to study it, but if this is true, that there's a contradiction between these two, how would this conflict with what you've been taught about this topic?
If that is true, then
Yes.
I will have to hear from my teacher, or he would have said this is not the real Quran. I don't see people reading that, or he will have to explain a really good explanation. But if that is true, then I will say that the other Quran is not true.
So there's a point here. Wait. You say
which one?
you say that Qunbal isn't true?
Which
What?
one is true? If it's true, which one would you say is not true? Is it Qunbal not true or Hafs not true?
Hafs I've been reading for all, and I have here many chefs from Saudi reading the Hafs.
Okay.
So you wouldn't find it questionable at all that your sheikh that you're going to, who told you that there's no contradictions, now you're saying, okay, this is definitely a contradiction. If this is all accurate,
Yes, that is a definite contradiction.
you're going to
Yes.
go back to that sheikh, which is fine, you'll hear what he has to say, and we encourage you to do that. But
And I will have here from the narrative, like the narrative, like you say, from who he came from. It's time from the prophet, and who was really the one of the seven. And if it's true, then maybe I will have to think about it.
okay, so okay, good. So, because the main point that we're trying to bring out from this is that basically what you guys have been taught as Muslims about this topic is
Mhm.
is not true, and that's our entire point. Like David was pointing out before, like if you're just talking about a book that has variations and different manuscripts, maybe differing here and there, variants, like you expect that. But what Muslims tell you is not that. They'll tell you that no, the Quran's unique in the way that it's preserved, where it doesn't have these issues that other books have.
I had an issue before. I think life knows me. I was with every. I had many issues before, and my stepmom how can I say, is a pastor. She preach in the church. So when I
Oh
go
yeah,
to
you
her
definitely
house,
have.
because my father is a Christian, so he told me, read the Bible. You're always reading about Islam. You haven't read about Christianity. So he told me, read the Bible. I read it. I had I wanted to become a Christian. I go to Catholic school. I always do my research. I don't follow things blindly. So I am following everything. I have also read the Torah from the Jewish. I have read many. I haven't finished the Quran yet, but I'm reading other things and I'm following other things. I'm searching for the truth,
Mhm.
and
So
yet still, yeah.
yeah, so I have a question for you then. So you're most familiar with Hafs, the reading of Hafs. You're familiar with that there's a chain of narration that Hafs relies on, right? Like
Yes.
Isnad. So have you ever studied that before? Have you ever heard about the issues of the chain of narration of Hafs himself?
No, I haven't hear about the. I have hear about the chain of narrative of Hafs many times and Warsh, but I haven't memorized it.
No, you don't have to memorize it. We'll bring it up on the screen because this is an important topic. Because the other topic you said, okay, you're going to look into that, you're going to ask about it, and hopefully we'll see you again, and we can uh, you know can continue the conversation with you on that. But I want to go through the Quran that you actually do know, which is Hafs, and I want to bring you through some issues about Hafs's narration. Yeah. Life, can you just bring this up on the screen? You want to say something?
Yeah, if you ask, because we have brought this to Muslims, and famous Dawa Muslims say, yeah, we acknowledge this qira'at, all these ones that we've showed you, and they say this one's from God and this one's from God. So they'll say the not one is from God and the I would have made it known to you is from God, which is crazy to us because they're basically saying God said two opposite things at the same time. So really wonder if your sheikh is going to say the same thing, like everything is from God,
Yeah, I'm waiting for that response too.
Okay, my friend.
Well, don't put too much hope in him because odds are he's gonna mislead you on that. But we hope that God will give you the strength and the courage to follow the truth, no matter the cost, no matter the consequences, and hopefully that you'll lead. God will lead you to the truth. So, so here's Hafs. You know about Hafs. You probably have this Quran with you, right? You have an Arabic version of Hafs with you.
Yes, Arabic and French.
Oh, in French. Okay, great. So, do you? I mean, it's probably not going to be in the French translation, but in the Arabic, do you have this page where it talks about the chain of transmission?
Let me check.
Okay, it's going to be like the first couple pages of your only the Arabic one though, not a translation.
I think I have it here.
You got it. So it matches what I mean. I know that we have text on the screen here, like kind of covering it because we're doing it for the purpose of translation, but it's going to say the same thing. Like Hafs learning from Awesome, learning from Abu Rahman.
Like, have you heard of this chain? Like, Hafs got it from Awesome, got it from.
Oh no, I think it's not. I just saw the name of Uthman. I thought it is, but it's just a message of Uthman. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, Uthman to
sorry.
Ali to Zayd to Ubay to Muhammad.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure we're on the same page here because this is an important point. So anyway, you know who Hafs is. Let's start with Hafs, okay? So
Yes.
are you familiar with like what makes a hadith like not talking about Quran right now, but just hadith. Are you familiar with what makes a hadith reliable?
Yes, the chain of narration.
Okay, like what about specifically do you know, like they judge for certain things, like someone's like reputation, their memory, things like, you know, what does the community say about them?
I think the most one who had the photographic memory was Sahih al-Bukhari.
Okay.
Well,
so-
he's
He
not
was,
he's not a narrator though. He's a compiler. So Imam al-Bukhari was a compiler of the hadith, but he wasn't a narrator.
So yeah, so Bukhari would go and try and trace back the most honorable, the most honest person.
and
to
he
teach.
was he gave us a
Yes.
book because he was the one who memorized most of them. So
Yes.
the narrative, yes,
Yeah, sorry. So our point is he wouldn't take something from a liar. Like for a
yes,
hadith, if he found someone who's everybody says he's a liar, he wouldn't take the hadith from him. You know that?
yes. Yeah, I know that.
Okay, good.
Very good.
So I mean, that's so you respect al-Bukhari, right? You respect what he has to say
Yes,
about.
yes, I respect him.
So like for example, I'm just going to give you an example. So there are a lot of hadith that he deemed to be false or weak or fabricated because the people who narrate them are unreliable. Like let's say someone was known for lying, or someone was known for stealing, or someone had like a really bad reputation, wasn't a reputable person. So that person, he would say, I can't take this, you know, the story itself that they're narrating may be true, but I can't take it from them because they're giving it to me through a chain where they have this unreliable person in it, right?
Yes, I know that.
Okay, good. I just want, and so not just for you, but maybe for people in the audience as well that might not know that. So let's just go to a couple sources on the biographical literature
Mhm.
where the different scholars of hadith. Now we're talking about hadith here, scholars of hadith, where they would rate people or grade people based on their reliability, trustworthiness, etc.
So actually, Hafs was very well known to them, Prince. And
Yes.
they didn't say good things about him at all.
Yeah.
So this is the first one.
Yeah, this is just kind of a little biography about who he is, and you know, not so important. But here's something important though. So there's a list of scholars talking about Hafs, and we're gonna see what they say.
Okay, so the first one is Ibn Abi Hatim. He said he rejected all the hadiths of Hafs. And also, Hanbal ibn Ishaq, he also said the same thing. Yahya ibn al-Ma'in, he said the same thing.
No. Sorry, there's supposed to be a comma there. Yeah, but
yeah. So anyway,
Ahmed Hanbal and
Ahmed ibn Hanbal, all these big scholars, and even the one that you know is al-Bukhari is towards the bottom. He said people abandoned him.
Yeah.
Taraku. Him meaning Hafs.
Okay.
And even Muslim, you know, Sahih Muslim. That
Yes,
Muslim,
I know Sahih Muslim.
He's rejected.
Sahih Muslim also rejected. So Bukhari and Muslim, the two main hadith collectors that Muslims love and respect, they threw away Hafs completely because he was known as a liar and a thief of books. This is more people like in Nasa'i.
Really, yeah, and Nasa'i, another one that you know, and Nasa'i. But here's something, Ibn Kharash. This is really important. He said that Hafs is a liar. Hafs is a liar. Okay, and we have you know Hafs Quran, but you know the other student of Awesome? He had two students that Muslims take as authoritative.
Yes.
Yeah, who's that?
The one? The what?
Awesome's two students that you know, he has Hafs and then another transmitter. Do you know who it is?
Yes, I know who it is, but I forgot his name.
Okay, if I say the name, it will maybe remind you.
Yeah.
There were three or something.
Shu'aib.
His name is Shaba.
Shu'aib. Yeah, Shu'aib.
Yeah, Shu'aib.
Yeah.
So check this one out. Shu'aib said, Hafs bin Sulaiman took a book from me and did not return it. He used to take people's books and copy them. So he was known as someone who would forge. Ibn Hibban said he would forge and fabricate hadiths and the change of narration for hadith. So this guy, he wasn't. Here's Al-Bukhari saying the same story here. And I'm saying, like, this guy wasn't known for being an honest person. He was known for being a liar,
Yeah.
known for fabricating hadith. So Muslims
Can I
take,
know? Can I know, please, that website? I can go and see.
yeah. So do you know who Ibn Hajar is?
Ibn Hajar? No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm-
Well, how about, well, we'll give you Al-Bukhari then, because this is one that you know.
Yeah, let's put that link. We'll put it in the private chat for you.
Yeah. So I'll
Prince.
just
Yes, yeah.
So
I'll put it in the private chat here for you. Let me just make sure that it's that's the one.
But about people don't want to take like say narrate from people because there are some kind of things that's happened a lot in Quraysh, because there was a guy who named Abu Nu'aym, who was a very funny guy who do pranks to people, and he was drunk. One day he says something that Prophet did. He say Prophet did that, and someone saw it, and no one. Sahih didn't. Sahih didn't want to listen to him. Bukhari didn't want to. Omar. And when he go to Abu Bakr, he say Prophet did this, and Abu Bakr say if Prophet did that, and he say yes. So no one did want to believe him until the time they go to the Prophet, and then they ask him, "Did you do it?" And Prophet say, "Yes, I did it." And there was someone who saw me, and the Prophet asked, "Who was it?" He say, "Abu Nu'aym saw it." So he told us, we didn't believe him because he's a drunk guy. So in Quraysh, if you have in Quraysh, they were so judgmental people. Even if you do a little bit
Quraysh.
things, so they
Sorry,
will
sorry.
never take something from you.
Sorry to interrupt you, Prince. This is not Quraysh. This is all Muslims by Muslims. Islam has been
Yeah, they were still
already
Quraysh
for
people.
hundreds of years. No, one second. So you're trying to say this Hafs guy can be a liar and can still be known to be a liar by all these people, including Bukhari? And
No. I
he
don't
still be
say that,
okay?
sister. I don't say that. The thing I say, the people from taking narrate from people who have some little problem, it was normal to them. It was normal
Yeah,
to
but
them.
the problem is that they didn't narrate from him. They didn't narrate
So
from him.
they say he was a liar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They said he's a liar, and I'll give you an example here. This is a hadith that you can take the reference down. You can see it there, and it says that this is a weak hadith, daif. You can see that, right?
Mhm.
And so the hadith is, whoever recites the Quran and memorizes it, making lawful what it makes lawful, making unlawful what it makes unlawful, Allah will admit him to paradise due to it and grant him intercession for 10 of his family members who were to be consigned to the fire. So they're basically going to hell, and because they memorized the Quran, they've had someone intercede for them. Well, this is a weak hadith. Now, I wonder why it's weak. If you look at the chain of narration, who's in this chain?
Hafs bin Sulaiman. So the Hafs that is giving you the Quran today is in this chain of narration.
And why exactly do they weaken it?
Yeah, so the Arabic says that they've weakened it, which is like
I saw at
common.
Tirmidhi.
Yeah, so they've weakened it because Hafs is in the chain.
Yeah, and these are the different hadith scholars here, and they give, like, for example,
like al-Bayhaqi.
yeah.
And you've got Ibn al-Qaysarani. I know you don't know these names because you don't even know Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. But if you take these screenshots for your imam and ask them, is it true that Hafs being in any chain of hadith makes the hadith weak?
And they're literally saying the reason why the hadith is weak, they're not saying it's because of the content. They're not saying it's because of someone else. They're saying literally because Hafs is in the chain, it's nothing.
Yeah,
it's literally, that's what the Arabic says.
Yeah,
like,
it says laysa bishay,
nothing. He's nothing.
Once they see Hafs, they say he's nothing.
In hadith.
And then they kick out the hadith saying we're not taking it. And even you find Hafs in books that are called the books of the week.
Yes.
The book is called Al-Kamil fi al-Du'afa.
I think that's the book that we sent him.
Yeah, the book of the week.
Yeah,
and guess who's in there? That's the big star of the week.
Yeah.
Kitab al-Du'afa. And
By
guess who wrote it? Bukhari. Bukhari wrote a book of the week. Hafs in it.
Yeah, yes.
If the point is, the Hafs that gives you your most common Quran in the Muslim world, weak, and he's a liar, according to Bukhari and Muslim and many other big scholars. So that's a big problem, because could he not have fabricated some stuff in the Quran too? He's a liar, right? How could you trust?
Yeah, so what we're pointing out here, Prince, if it's not obvious yet, is that you guys your scholars reject him when it comes to hadith. You say he's unreliable. Like, these are all hadith scholars right here. They're saying he's unreliable, he's not trustworthy, and they give the reasons for it earlier on. They say why? Because he fabricates hadith. He fabricates chains of hadith. He's a liar. Literally, they call him a kadhab, a liar. They say that he stole. He was known as a thief. Okay, but the most like the biggest offense is that he's a fabricator. Because why? What did Muhammad say about people who fabricate?
He says that they're in hell. So fabricates for people whose English is a second language means make something up from scratch. Like he would make a whole chain. Like he would say, someone told me, and the whole thing is a lie. No one told anyone anything. Makes a whole chain. Believe that. So that's a fabricator. And Muhammad said, anybody who fabricates anything on me, meaning about him, he will let him expect a chair in hellfire. That means he'll sit in hellfire forever. So you could be, that person could be in hellfire forever, according to Muhammad, and all you Muslims are reading his Quran that he gave to you.
So what do you understand? So the question is, did he's in the 7 books of Quran and Uthman put him there?
He's what? Yeah. He's one of the transmitters of one of the 7. Yeah, Asim's Quran. Yeah. And by the way, Asim has problems as well. Their whole chain has problems, but we're just going for Hafs because you know Hafs. So yes, he's completely rejected when it comes to hadith, unreliable, liar, fabricator, but yet you accept his Quran.
Yeah, if you look at hadith, you will never see narrated Hafs.
Something that's authentic.
In any Sahih hadith, you will never see, like you see narrated Abu Huraira, you see narrated Ibn Abbas, you see narrated Aisha, but you never see narrated Hafs in a Sahih hadith. Have you ever thought why?
No, I don't know really many hadiths, so I don't know if there is none.
There's none.
You'll never find a Sahih hadith.
They can be, hadith. You never know.
No, there's none.
You'll never find an authentic hadith with Hafs. Google it. Say, did Hafs narrate any authentic hadith? 0. Because people didn't take him. They didn't respect him. They thought he was a liar and a thief.
But yet you take the Quran from him. So you can see the problem with that, right,
it's
Prince?
Crazy. Because if
do you see the problem with that, Prince?
The problem with taking the Hafs?
Yeah, the Hafs Quran.
The guy who's a liar.
That's yes. Like I say, I really didn't know about the everything about you just show me. That's why I'm going to ask questions.
Good.
That's good. So you got a few questions to ask for Imam.
Yeah.
That's that's gonna be a big problem. like imagine if Islam is not true, then what?
Then we'll tell you who the truth is.
Jesus Christ. He's called the truth. He's called the truth.
Yeah.
There are questions that my mom can never answer that.
You said your mom?
Yes, my stepmom.
What? She can never answer what?
She's a pastor, and she gave me the Bible to read. But there are questions that I can ask, and then she tell me just leave it to them. Is the spirit, or you will never understand.
What's the question that she can't answer? You said she can't answer a question. What's the question?
No, I think lives know them. I don't want to ask them here. You know, I came to learn. I didn't come to bring some. Sorry?
You're saying life knows the questions, but you don't want to say them here?
Yes. It's like you know when we come, inshallah, when we come to debates, I ask all those questions and everything. But today I didn't come to debate. I just come to ask questions and learn.
By the way, Prince Haruna, it is interesting because you pointed out, it sounded like you were saying that you would ask your stepmom a question. If she doesn't know, she'd just say, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have the answer.
She said like she has spiritual things. You know, it's more spiritual. So you never understand if you use logic. You have to use more spiritual. I say okay.
Well, no, I find that difference interesting because here's the thing. If you were to ask your stepmom something and she doesn't know, she would just say, I don't know, or I don't think we can understand it, or something like that. Whereas if you ask your imam, he'll say something, but he will make something up, right? In other words, he won't say, hey, I don't know that. He'll say, oh, here's the answer, and it will be completely false. And that's something that I noticed. And keep in mind, to be clear, I don't know your actual imam. So your actual imam might be the like I said,
he's very different. We have 3 imams, and when they don't know, they say like there is someone in there. So when you ask one, and they say, I don't know. You go to another one, he say, I don't know. And we go to another one. Well, some of the three has to know something because they read in different sects. They read in different places.
Yeah.
So
And
they,
so
well,
yeah.
my imam can say, I don't know. But the thing I have problem with my father and my stepmom, they always make something up. They don't just, when I ask her, I say, I ask her a question, and then it was in the Bible, and then she's try to explain it, and I say, I know the answer. It is in the Bible. And she say, where is it? And I show it to her. I say, you are a preacher. You should know the whole Bible. And I tell her, if you don't know something, just say I don't know, and then you'll tell me I can show, and then say, okay, you start to sound like demon of Islam, and she start to insult that. I don't really like that, because I tell her, I don't debate with you to win. I debate with you to teach, so you can teach, so I can teach you, and you can teach. But the thing is different, David. Like today, I saw something new, and I'm genuinely about that. Thanks. I'm gonna ask question around, and then I will come back, inshallah, to give answer if I have times.
That's good, and that is a good, respectable approach, especially if you're given new information that you're not familiar with. You don't want to automatically reject it, and you don't want to automatically accept everything. You want to go and do a little research to look into it further. But just to give sort of our overall takeaway, it's good that you are different from a lot of people we encounter, and that you are asking questions about both Christianity and Islam, and actually trying to get to the truth of the matter. But we've been doing this for years, and again, it's for years we're told perfect dot for dot, letter for letter preservation. There isn't one that was the claim. There isn't one letter of difference between any two Qurans anywhere in the world. We were told that for years. It was completely false. We knew it was false, but we were called liars for actually showing that it's false. And then once it became too obvious to everyone, to the point where Christians were showing up to Speaker's Corner with different Arabic Qurans saying, look, that is not the same as that. And they're putting it right in the faces of Muslims. Then those Muslims went back to the same Dawa guys who told them perfect dot for dot, letter for letter preservation. They went back to the same Dawa guys and said, hey, they showed us differences between different Qurans. What do we do? Those same Dawa guys then said, oh yeah, it's just differences in dialects. It's just differences in dialects. That's the only differences. And then so the Muslims came back and said, hey, you showed us those differences, but it's just differences in dialects. And this went on for a while, and then they're showing, no, this is actually a different meaning from that. These are not two different dialects. These are two completely different meanings here. And then then the argument became, yes, but Allah revealed them in all these different ways, but they complement each other. They complement each other. Allah wanted to explain kind of different things. So he gave them multiple Qurans, but they work together. And then
that is false. That is totally false.
Well,
yes, I can say something about that, because if someone say,
let me just finish real quick, Prince Haruna. So then after we pointed out, no, it's not complementary meanings, because sometimes you have contradictory meanings, and then Muslims will hear that and read it and then go back to the exact same guy. So the point here is I wouldn't think that most of these are an actual problem for the Quran, because if you have a human being copying a book over many, many years, it's perfectly normal for human beings to make mistakes. But here, so that's kind of not the issue. It's like the Dawa guys and the Muslim scholars, they'll say one thing and it'll be a lie, and then that'll eventually be corrected and exposed, and then they'll tell another lie, and then that'll eventually be corrected and exposed, and then they'll tell another lie. And what's amazing is the Muslim community will still keep going back to the exact same guys who keep feeding them lies. And it just seems massively dysfunctional to us looking at this. We're looking at this going, how can this religion be the truth when it has to constantly lie and make things up? So anyway, that's kind of the issue.
Yes, I can say that that's totally false, because if a guy doesn't give you an explanation about something you see and he keep telling you a lie, I'm not like that. I'm a reasonable guy. If I go to ask something, and like I just saw now two different Quran, different meaning. If I go and ask and they give me something that I don't understand, I'm not sure that I will come here and explain you the same thing. If it doesn't make sense to me, it will never make sense to you. So the thing I will see is which is the most like ancient Quran we have, like the most ancient, that the one that really from a long time. I think I have read somewhere that it's in Birmingham or something. The Quran of time of Uthman.
Which, by the
I
way,
think
you know, the Birmingham Quran disagrees with Hafs and a number of places.
sorry,
Yeah.
what?
Oh yeah, yeah. There are a couple issues there, Prince. So, Jai just pointed out that the Birmingham manuscript, which by the way is just 2 pages, it's not a full manuscript. It's 2 pages, but so you have 2 pages, and Jai just pointed out that even that disagrees with the Hafs. And apart from that, you did have, when you do the carbon dating, which is how they dated it, when you do the carbon dating, that doesn't tell you when anything was written. That tells you when the animal died, the range the range of dates for when the animal that was used to ultimately make the parchment, when that animal died. So it doesn't tell you when it was written down, but you did have other Muslim scholars saying there's no way that was from that time. It had to come significantly later based on the writing style and the ink and so on. But yeah, so it's always
Yes, yes.
good to look
La,
things
la,
up.
Yes, like I told you, I'm not. I'm a really reasonable guy. When you ask, I ask a
You sound
question
reasonable.
which is
Reasonable. Mhm.
yes. When I ask a question and it doesn't make sense to me, I don't think I will ever encourage someone to with the same answer. No, I think when I will come back here, I will be with the answer that make logic to me, and which will be let sound make logic to you too, guys.
Mhm.
But I don't think I will come here with the lies, like you say. When
Good.
someone go and they show 2 different Quran, and then he puts a lies in people, it must make some sense at least
Mhm.
to some people.
That's good. And if
So
so if you ask around and you've got something that makes sense, if you hear an answer that makes sense, then yeah, we'd love to hear it.
yes, thanks. Like they show me 2 Quran, Kambal and Hafs. I will go ask around, and thanks for that. And maybe next time, inshallah, I will come back with an answer. And if I don't, maybe you will hear me from another side.
Awesome.
Okay,
Okay,
awesome.
guys.
Great. Okay. Cool.
Hello. Do you remember me?
Not yet.
Yeah, you didn't last too long,
Embryology.
man. Try to redeem yourself. Go ahead. We hear you.
Embryology guy.
Oh,
ahead.
he said the
Oh, the
Oh, the
embryology guy.
embryology.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Did you find the leech?
Yes,
The
in
guy
week
who's
2.
lying about his name. He's exactly what he says he's not.
Are you a bot or not? Oh,
Three.
so
So you found the leech?
you found the leech?
The leech baby?
3 embroy.
Embryology, the sperm that went into being a leech?
His
Yeah.
microphone is
I can't hear.
Bot.
Wait.
Yeah, we're
Addict.
we're dealing with Quran preservation today. Are you able to answer the questions? You said you were able to answer his questions, and you're talking about something that happened last time.
But you said that Surah Al-Ahzab lost 33 verses, right?
33 verses? No,
No,
it's
missing
Surah
200.
33. It's Surah 33. But yeah, you're missing 200 verses, over 200 verses from
Over
that
200, yeah.
surah.
Okay, David, this hadith is not authentic. Nobody takes it seriously. Imam Muslim, Imam Bukhari said this is weak, extremely weak. ضعيف جدا. ما
Who
في.
said?
Which hadith? What do you even tell? You don't even know which hadith I'm talking about. What are you talking about?
Right?
I can't hear him.
Your microphone is
It's either very, very low volume or shouting. I can't hear.
yeah, we can't hear it at all. Is it wait, are we here? Oh.
Oh. Can people hear us?
You guys can hear us, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I hear you.
I thought we
Did he just totally cut out, or I don't hear anything from him?
he's like screaming, but his microphone is like not picking it up, I think.
Mhm.
Hey, so look,
Yeah.
get your microphone together, and then we'll bring you back up in a minute, man.
Yeah, let me just to give people an idea of what we're talking about. So you have Abu Ubaid's Kitab Fida'il al-Quran, where Abu Ubaid basically recorded a small a small section on variants in the Quran. And he quoted in Kitab Fada'il al-Quran, he quoted Ibn Umar, one of Muhammad's companions, is the son of the rightly guided Caliph Umar. And the quote is, "Let none of you say, I have learned the whole of the Quran." So this is Ibn Umar talking to the next generation of Quran reciters. And some of these Quran reciters were walking around bragging, I've memorized the Quran. And Ibn Umar, when he heard this, said, "Let none of you say, I have learned the whole of the Quran, for how does he know what the whole of it is when much of it has disappeared?" Don't say you've memorized the Quran when so much of it has disappeared. Let him rather say, "I have learned what is extant thereof." So I've learned what still survives of the Quran. But then also in Kitab Fada'il al-Quran, we've got on the issue of Surah 33, Ibn Abi Maryam related to us from Ibn Luhai, from Abu Aswad, from Urwa ibn Zubair, from Aisha, who said, Surah al-Azab, Surah 33, used to be recited in the time of the Prophet with 200 verses. But when Uthman wrote out the codices, he was unable to procure more of it than there is in it today. So this is Aisha saying, I remember that chapter was really long. It was, what did she say? With 200 verses, Surah 33. So Surah 33 has 73 verses today. Surah 33 has 73 verses today. You have Aisha, the mother of the faithful, saying it was originally recited with 200 verses. But then you have same section of Abu Ubaid. It says, Ismail, it gives a bunch of names. Ubay ibn Ka'b said to me, O Zur, how many verses did you count? Or how many verses did you read in Surah Al-Azab? 72 or 73, I answered. Said he, yet it used to be equal to Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah 2, and we used to read in it the verse of stoning. Said I, and was it the verse of stoning? He said, if a grown man, and anyway, they asked what the verse of stoning is and stuff. But anyway, this is Ubay ibn Ka'b. Muhammad said, if you want to learn the Quran from anyone, learn it from 4 people. And one of those 4 people was Ubay ibn Ka'b. The Caliph Umar said Ubay was the best of the reciters of the Quran. And this is Ubay ibn Ka'b saying that just Surah 33 by itself used to be as long as Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah 2, which is 286 verses. So he's saying it used to be as long as Surah Al-Baqarah, 286 verses. What does it have today? 73 verses. What's that mean? It means over 200 verses were lost just from Surah 33. Among those, we actually know some of these verses. So the verse of stoning was in there. The verse of breastfeeding adults was in there. You could go to Surah 33 now. It is one of the most insanely messed up chapters of any book ever. That's where you have Allah abolishing adoption to justify Muhammad taking the wife of his own adopted son. That's you also have Allah ordering Muhammad to take the wife of his own adopted son. You have Allah telling Muhammad that he can break his own 4-wife limit and so on. So you have all these messed up things in Surah 33, and yet that's the sanitized version. This is the sanitized version. This is after they took out the passages about breastfeeding adults and so on. So anyway, point here is you can't just dismiss this stuff, because if you want to dismiss this stuff, you have to say Muslims invented all these stories about so much material being missing from the Quran. There's not a good reason for saying that hundreds of verses of the Quran came up missing, especially when the explanation for how they came up missing is Aisha's sheep ate the only copy.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to hear his response to that, because normally Muslims will accept that, but then they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, it was just abrogated."
Yeah, that would be the normal response.
Yeah, but then the question is, okay, so the Quran says that if something is abrogated, then it's replaced with something
Better.
like it or similar to it, or right, or similar to it or better than it. So what was that replaced with? That's when they get a lot. They don't know. So, like normally you can point out, okay, this verse was abrogated by this verse, and either it's a contradiction or there's an abrogation there. But what was the 200 verses replaced with? What was it abrogated? with.
And guess what the grading is of that hadith that says the 200 missing verses? Sahih.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that.
Yeah. Hey, Jai and DOC. I don't know how to break this to you, but sometimes people make stuff up. Sometimes if you say, hey, here's a passage and it says hundreds of verses were lost from one chapter of the Quran, some people will just make up anything that pops into their minds. And some people have been taught to shout weak hadith whenever you say something that they don't like.
That's right.
It's weird. It's a weird situation.
How do we forget that? Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You got Muhammad here.
So, yeah, exactly.
Okay, good. Go ahead, Muhammad.
Go ahead, Muhammad. We're giving you an opportunity to show us that the Quran has been amazingly or perfectly or miraculously or whatever preserved. But any thoughts you have on the amazing preservation of the Quran?
Hello?
Oh,
You hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hello?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay,
Do you hear
perfect.
us?
So, yes, I do, but I think it's been cut due to low connection. So, it's about the preservation of the Quran. Well, I really want to point something here. It's basically the double standards that you guys try to apply to the Quran, but not apply to your own source.
Oh,
Well,
so
let's
he's-
say
yeah,
that it
yeah,
is
yeah,
the Quran. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
just to clarify, Muhammad, it's when you say perfect preservation right down to the letter, which is what we were told about the Quran for years, we were not making that claim. You could pick any Bible off my shelf. You could pick any Bible off my shelf, open it up. That Bible will contain footnotes explaining when there is a textual variant. In other words, Christian Bible publishers and Christians are honest about textual variants. Muslim da'is and scholars over the years have lied about the preservation of the Quran and said there aren't any variants and so on. There are no textual variants. So they were lying the entire time. So when we say, hey, you've got textual variants, we're responding to a lie. You don't say, oh, apply the same standard to yourself. We never made the claim. We're not the ones making the claim.
Okay, so I would like to disagree with you on that point, basically, because up until the 17th century or the 16th century, we had the verse that points literally the Trinity in your Bible, and then they came and they said that this is a fabrication. This is a homemade verse.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about at all, Muhammad. You have zero clue what you're talking about right there. So you're talking about 1 John 5:7. No, for centuries you didn't have that in any Bible. Eventually you had a scribe who made a note, who made a note, and then people started including that, and then it got included. And what happened? People pointed out that's not in the early manuscripts. So that's the idea behind pointing out textual variants and being honest about them. You can
Muhammad. That's the fabrication.
What are you talking about a fabrication? It starts off as a note someone puts in his Bible, and then someone copies the note as part of the Bible. And then what happens? People point out, hey, it's not in the early manuscripts, so stop using that. And then they do. And what happens? You can open up any Bible today, and it will contain a footnote saying, hey, this is in some Bibles, but it is not in the earliest manuscripts. What is that? That's being honest about the text. So how in the name of common, how in the name, and what do you guys do when you have a variant? You say, oh, it all goes back and Allah revealed it in all these different ways. That's what I'm saying. Christians will be honest and say, hey, this is a variant. We know when this variant arose because it doesn't occur in the earliest manuscripts, and therefore we shouldn't have that verse. That's any Bible you go to. How do you not see the difference between that and Muslim scholars saying perfect preservation dot for dot, letter for letter, and it's completely false?
I would define honesty in another way. For example, to keep that verse in the notes and not put it in the Bible and
that verse
tell
is in the
people
notes.
to see the footnotes.
That's in the notes. Yeah, you put it in the footnotes.
Yeah, nowadays, but it used to be in the Bible. Well, anyways, that's not the subject. I just wanted to point that was something.
Yeah, and it's a stupid.
We can go
point.
back to the.
So what's next?
Whatever.
We offered you an opportunity to explain the preservation of the Quran to us, and your response is, but Christians are honest about textual variants and Muslims lie. Okay, that's not a good defense.
That's basically you see how you guys twist the words. That's absolutely not what I said. But anyways, you can believe what you want. But let's get back to what the Jay was talking about. Well, basically about the Hafs.
Okay.
The Hafs.
Hafs
reputation.
Hafs, the guy who is regarded as a liar, so untrustworthy that any hadith he's mentioned in will be instantly regarded as weak. But because the Ottoman Empire's favorite version of the Quran was the Hafs, they spread the Hafs around, and somehow Muslims thought that this is the best, most trusted version of the Quran, even though it was the one transmitted by a guy who's acknowledged as a liar and a thief, and yet you guys will all trust it because you're told to. That Hafs?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Yeah, that's
Okay. That one. Okay. Just wanted to be clear.
So what did you want to say, Muhammad?
We can't hear you, Muhammad.
Because he ran away.
He's running. He's been humiliated. Yeah. That's what we would say if we were Dawa guys, but we're not.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
do you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. In which kind of ways I have been?
Oh, we lost you again. Hey, Muhammad, are you on your phone by chance? Because if you're on your phone and you go to like a different window or open up something else, it mutes your mic from.
it cuts out when you do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. Now do you hear me? So I just wanted to point out that there is a lot of other sources that acknowledge this trustworthiness of Hafs instead of just giving like I would like as well to go into the sources that you
Okay.
gave.
Which source?
Well, there are a lot of other sources.
Which one? Which sources? Sorry, which source says that Hafs is reliable?
One.
My
Okay,
Imam.
I have a bunch of them, but they're white.
Okay, are they better than
You're just
Bukhari?
being stupid now. You're just being stupid. You're making a fool of yourself. Like
I'm asking,
Muhammad bin
who-
Ramadan
who
make
are you talking
you
to?
look like a fool, and then to another one. So you could just mute yourself and let me just talk to the other guy, because you just keep
that's not how this
making
works.
yourself looking as a fool.
Hey,
Like,
Muhammad,
for
that's
real.
not how this works.
You're trying to exclude us? Why?
No, he's
Hey.
trying to do it. So you don't
No,
get to
I was
dictate-
including you. I was including.
Yeah, you don't get to
not
dictate
excluded.
who's included.
It's not
who's
your
not.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We know
nice,
Muslims-
nice
Absolutely
try,
not yours.
nice try, Muhammad. But cancel culture is over.
Yeah, this is not a Dawa stream.
Yeah, this is not
Cancel
Saudi.
what? Cancel. The Dawa stream is they are the most welcoming one.
Oh,
Like
the
I
Dawa stream
can
is the
cannot. They are the most welcoming one. Absolutely, they are the ones who is talking with logic. You just can. He's been talking about some footnotes, fabrication stuff, and just give.
And not there. How come you're with Christians and not with the welcoming Muslims? You come here.
Because they are in my line. Why would I argue with them?
Okay, so
Alright.
okay, Muhammad. So
Yeah.
you wanted.
So
to
you are
challenge-
welcome to go there.
You wanted
Yeah.
to challenge Ibn Hajar, or who did
Hello,
you want?
friend.
Or who did you want to challenge? Ibn Hajar, Abu Bukhari. Who did you want to challenge?
Yeah, do you want to defend Hafs or defend the preservation of the Quran, or what? What do you want to do?
So first thing you were pointing to the other guy that he's not trustworthy of some kind in the hadith, whilst
Hafs is not
he has
trustworthy.
nothing to do with hadith. Yeah, but the riwayah has nothing to do with the hadith. Hadith is another thing, and then
Okay.
the-
Whoa.
let's point only the trustworthiness.
Hang on, Muhammad. So you're saying Muslim scholars over the centuries have said, don't trust Hafs. He's a fabricator. He's a liar. He makes things up. He's a thief. You can't
No.
trust it. You can't trust him
No,
when he's
that's not what I'm
transmitting.
saying.
You can't trust him when he transmits hadiths. But you're saying you can trust him when he transmits the
No,
Quran.
that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, I
No,
didn't
that's not what I'm
understand
saying.
you. All right, good. What do you
Okay,
actually think?
perfect. So I was telling that the hadith is not the riwayat of the Quran. That's one thing. The other thing, I was saying that there are other sources that they acknowledge the truthworthiness, let's say, of Hafs. And
Which sources? Which
so-
sources? Yalla, come on. Which sources? Which sources?
Okay, so my could be. I didn't wrote them.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, man.
You came to-
No, I
can
have them.
challenge
But
us
if
on
you
topic.
could,
It's
5
the
seconds,
source
okay?
is
You could
trust
wait
me,
for
bro.
5 seconds.
It's
You can
trust
wait
me,
for
bro.
5 seconds.
I got my
Okay,
source.
no problem.
Trust me, bro.
Okay. No. You see, you keep making yourself a fool. Well, no problem. 5 seconds. Get the source, and I'll be.
All right, 5
right now.
seconds, yalla.
Okay.
3.
So normally,
4,
when someone comes in
5.
to challenge something, it's pretty good idea to
سير
kind of
عالم النبلاء. That's the
سير عالم
first one.
النبلاء.
Okay.
What does it
And
say?
this, you still hear me now?
what? Yeah. What does it say?
Yeah, what is it? What does the source say? Just so we
Okay.
can search it. Oh,
Oh,
you cut
yeah.
out.
Whenever you go to a different window on your phone, we can't hear you on StreamYard.
Okay. Okay. Now I guess you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you now.
we hear you now.
Okay. So it's a source about the, let's say, the reciters or the transmitters or the scholars of the
Okay, can you
of the
read it?
Quran.
No, we're not talking about the reciters of the Quran.
We're
We're talking about what the Hadith scholar. You missed the argument. The argument
Okay.
is about
Okay.
the
Could you
Hadith
clarify?
scholars. It's about what the Hadith scholars say about Hafs and why they reject Hafs when it comes to the Hadith of Muhammad, traditions of Muhammad. But yet they accept him. We're pointing out the inconsistency. We're saying that you guys accept him for the Quran. We know you accept him for the Quran. In fact, the quotes that we had, they said, Hafs is the best of, the students, for awesome students. We understand that, but the best of his students happens to be a liar, a fabricator, etc., etc. So our point is that you reject him for Hadith because he's a liar. It's not just because he doesn't remember Hadith like properly. Like, oh, he doesn't remember Hadith properly,
Okay.
but he remembers Quran
Okay.
properly. That's not the issue. The issue is his moral character when it comes to why they reject him for Hadith is because he's a liar. He fabricates things. He steals things. Those are
So
traits
okay,
that
no
you
problem.
carry with you through other disciplines in life. It's not just like you're only a liar when it comes to one thing.
Yeah, it's not a skill. It's
No
not like
problem.
one
We are.
mistake.
I'm totally okay with that. I'm
Okay.
totally okay with
Okay.
that. If it's have been
So that's
proven
the
that this
argument.
guy
Yeah.
was a liar, okay, perfect. It's more it's
So
clearer
you're
now.
happy that he's a liar?
But if this one, just wait. I'm not happy with it that he's a liar. Just let me finish my sentence. So I was telling that even if this guy, if the fact that he has been acknowledged to be a liar, a fabricator, it's not okay. I should look it up. Even if, let's say, it's the majority of scholars have came to a consensus about his version, that still, if he has been acknowledged for these traits in the past, it must be a problem. So I would look for an answer for that. But first of all,
You're going to, okay.
because I respect that, but you just gave like an image with the name of who said it. Who said
we can give you the
this?
sources if you
Yeah.
want. We have the sources. as
Sure,
well.
that
we
would
can give
that
you
would
the
be that
link.
would be wonderful. That would be
Do
wonderful.
you read
Yeah.
Arabic? Do you read Arabic, Muhammad?
I do.
Yeah, we can give you the link in the private chat. You can read it in Arabic about how great Hafs was.
So this is the first book here, and what you want to do is you scroll to the bottom of this page, and then go to like how many pages is it that you want
There's
to
many
see?
pages talking about Hafs and how much of a liar he is.
Yeah, let me just get the exact. So you want to go first page, second page,
So
third,
three
three pages for that link, and then we
You
already
can
posted
show it
one.
on the. You could,
Oh, you want us to
excuse
show it on the
me.
screen?
Oh, okay, let's
Yeah,
go
if it's possible. If it's possible.
The Arabic you
I
want,
appreciate it.
or the English?
Yeah, sure. The Arabic. That's
the
fine.
Arabic.
Okay, the
Okay,
Arabic.
we put it in the private chat for you anyway to read later, but we'll put it for everyone here.
Sure.
Alright.
I appreciate it.
So this is Kitab Tahdhib al-Tahdhib Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. Have you heard of that man?
Never. I'm
That's
very
not,
sorry,
that's
but
not
never.
good, man.
Wait, are you joking? Or
Never.
you really haven't?
No, because I'm a regular man. I'm not really.
Oh,
like,
okay. Well,
going
why
to
don't we
look
go
into
to Al
the
Bukhari then?
scholars.
Because you know Al Bukhari. We'll go to him. But anyway,
Sure.
this
Yeah,
is
sure.
one of the Hadith scholars. If you want, we can click on his bio after. But anyway, so you scroll down, and we're gonna go to right here. This is the Hafs. That is the same one that recites the Quran, transmits the Quran. Okay. And there's like a whole list of things here. And we won't go over all of them because we just did with the other guy, but some of the key ones, like this is one of the key stories here that we were talking about, where he's known for taking people's
taking people of these.
Where?
Do you see that? Matruk al-Hadith, do you see that?
Matruk
Right.
al-Hadith doesn't mean he's
Matruk,
liar.
you know what
Not
Matruk
Matruk
al-Hadith
al-Hadith
is like is not true. Well, just stop. Can you stop there? Like, just stop, please. Can you stop?
You mean stop
Not
scrolling?
moving the screen. Yeah, stop
stop.
scrolling, please.
Okay,
please.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
don't
I was
mind, don't
looking
mind
for
my
the other-
English. So the line just before the yellow one, it says that he's a good man.
Yeah. So
That's on
Saleh.
Hadith.
yeah. So what we're doing is we're showing you. I want to show you
Mhm.
the ones that are more damaging. So let
Okay,
me
no
just
problem.
go-
No problem.
Let's see Bukhari. Right? Is Bukhari good
Okay.
enough?
Hold on.
Sure, fair enough.
Okay, let's Bukhari. قال البخاري تركوه right here.
Tarako, yeah, it's not a liar.
Okay.
Doesn't
قال
say he's a
مسلم
liar.
متروك.
Matruk, yeah, what's Matruk in English? I don't know.
Okay. قال
It's left. It's left. Yeah,
Okay.
it's left.
Rejected. قال ابن المديني
Rejected.
ضعيف الحديث وتركته على عمد. I've left him on
Yeah, but it doesn't say he's a liar.
Yeah, don't worry, we're getting to it.
Yeah,
We're building up.
building it up.
Okay.
So this one's
Okay.
really important here.
قال ابن معين ليس بثقة. قال ابن معين ليس
Yeah,
بثقة.
it's still,
So he's not trustworthy.
What does
still
ليس
not-
بثقة mean?
And
not
it
like-
says the same thing.
قال النسائي ليس بثقة ولا يكتب حديثه.
Now this is really important.
قال في موضع آخر متروك الحديث لا يكتب
Mhm.
حديثه أحاديثها كلها مناكير.
So just as I'm gonna find some other ones to just translate what we're saying right here.
So
just
basically
for
saying
everybody.
he's not trustworthy. No one ever write his hadith.
Yeah,
Leave
but
all his
that's
hadith.
okay.
All his hadiths are munkar. Right here he says شعبة he says أخذ مني حفص كتابا فلم يرده. Hafs took a book from me, he never gave it back. وكان يأخذ كتب الناس فينسخها. And he used to take people's books and copy them.
So he would
Okay. Just
for his
the
own.
line. Just okay. No problem. You see, they were like they were bringing. So you're cherry picking, I guess. You're cherry picking what people say.
قال ابن
So
خراش.
okay, you can read. You read Arabic, no problem.
it.
Just read the line.
What does Ibn Kharash say? كذاب. كذاب
Okay,
means liar.
totally fine.
متروك
Matruk
الحديث.
yada hadith. No
Let's
problem.
see, let's
Just
see, let's
the line.
see.
The line before.
Okay.
Just the line after.
Yeah,
after.
but this is
Excuse me.
talking about,
After.
this is talking about in the reading of the Quran. So
Yeah.
we granted that to you. We said that they say that he's the best of the students of Awesome, for example, of knowing the Quran. But it says before that he's da'if.
Let's read the whole thing.
Don't mind me. I meant to say the line after
let's read the whole
two
thing.
yellow.
Oh, ذاهب الحديث. His hadith is
No,
gone.
the other one. Excuse me.
Okay,
The
let's
other
read
one.
this. Shall we read this
How
one?
many other ones?
سألت أبي عنه. I
Just
asked
don't mind my English. The last two lines in the screen.
Okay, we'll get we said that though. We said that he's the
Yeah,
best
من
of
Yeah,
أعلم
so basically cherry picking. من
No,
أعلم
no.
الناس.
Look,
Okay.
he's talking about qira'atu Awesome. This is talking about the reading of Awesome. This is not talking about the hadith. Because look what continues on to say. Look at this.
Okay, let's read it all. وكان حفص أقرأ من أبي بكر. He's a better قارئ than أبي بكر. وكان كذابا.
He was a liar. So the one that you want
وكان
us to
أبو
go
بكر
through,
صدوقا.
yeah,
Exactly. So
Exactly.
in one breath they say he's good at قراءة but he's a liar.
and then in contrast to Abu Bakr Shu'ba he's
trustworthy. So they do say that he's
Yeah, here's another one who says كان ثقة. Here is another one who says كان ثقة. Cherry picking.
They make a distinction between the qira'ah of the Quran and the hadith.
No. The fourth is just saying كان ثقة. كان ثقة.
Ibn Hibban,
The second line.
Okay.
I'm totally fine. There are people who say he's a liar.
You know what you should do?
Sure.
Put all the good stuff on one side and put all the bad stuff on one side and see how much.
Okay.
Let's see this one. قال ابن حبان, what does he say? كان يقلب الأسانيد ويرفع المراسيل. Do you know what that means? He used to switch the isnad.
I know. Put a grandfather instead of the son.
No. Yeah, he used to switch the isnad.
The time of the other one. Okay.
yeah, exactly.
And you know what يرفع المراسيل mean? He used to take out
No.
the things that were mursal. They used to take out the things that had good chains. He used to take them out. So he used to like fabricate and like what's the word? Corrupt.
Yeah, forge and
forge the isnads.
Forge and fabricate.
Forge and fabricate the isnads. So he used to switch stuff and he used to take stuff out that was actually good.
Yes, and then it goes on to another Hafs afterwards. So that's basically everything that Ibn Hajar he talks about. Now there's other pages as well. You know Ibn al-Jawzi?
He doesn't know.
I heard about him. I heard about him.
Okay, you heard it.
Heard
That's
about
good.
that,
So
yeah.
we'll go to him then. But anyway, it all says the same thing. So you have the link.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, read
But
everything that
I
was
just
written
want-
about him. Read everything that was written about him, good and bad. Put the bad on one side, it will be like 10 times.
The
more than
majority.
good.
Okay, excuse
the
me,
majority.
but this is not a really good argument because the
No,
majority never
because
means
if you go to
it
the
never
hadith-
means this. Yeah.
Look, I'll show you another source here. So if you go to like where he is mentioned in hadith, like we went to the
It
other
says
head,
diet. I saw
yeah,
that.
Exactly.
but they tell you
I saw
they tell
that.
you
I saw
why.
that.
Yeah, you saw that. Okay,
So
that's
they
fine.
tell you why it's da'if because they say we don't take from this guy hadith. We don't take from Hafs hadith. He says Hafs ibn Sulaiman laysa bi-shay. He's nothing.
Fil hadith.
He says laysa bi-shay fil hadith. He's nothing in hadith.
Yeah, and
So this dude,
okay, no problem.
you don't take hadith
Okay.
from him, but you take the Quran, which is just
That's our
genius.
point. That's our whole point. It's like it doesn't make any sense. Like if you're gonna say about, if you're gonna say, like for example, let's say me, let's say I'm good at memorizing hadith, but I'm really bad at memorizing Quran. Let's say, okay, that's one thing. But if you're saying, okay, you reject my hadith because
there
I'm
is
a
a
liar,
difference. Excuse
because
me.
I'm a liar, that means
Mhm.
my trait of being a liar carries over to any discipline I go to.
Yeah, like for doctors, by the
Okay,
way.
just
if a doc-
there is
one
there is
second.
a logical
One
there is
second,
a
Muhammad.
logical fallacy
I
in
just want to
it.
say the
Sure.
example. For doctors,
Okay.
if a doctor is found to be a liar, he can't do any specialty. He can't be a gynecologist or a cardiologist. He can't say, oh, he's not good at women's health, but he's good at heart health. If he's found to be a liar, he's struck off, kicked out.
Especially if he fabricates reports.
So that's the problem with Hafs. He fabricates stuff. So how could you guys, you don't take him for hadith, which is less than the Quran, but you take your Quran from him. The Quran is called Hafs.
Okay.
So your Quran
I'll
from
tell you
Allah
why. I'll tell you why. No problem.
Your Quran
That's
from
a big
Exactly.
problem.
That's an argument. That's an argument for my.
So Allah
Okay, so
allowed
if
his
I could-
Quran now to be named after a liar. Your Allah in His wisdom.
Just it's
allowed
not
made your
named.
Quran
It's not
now-
named. It's not named after a liar. It's
It is, it's
never
called
named.
Quran
It's
Hafs.
the recite.
It's
Riwayat Hafs. Riwayat
Exactly.
Hafs.
So that
Okay, no problem. So
Allah
let me
allowed-
just point
allowed
something
the
out.
riwayah to be Hafs. Allah allowed his
Okay,
more
could
massive
you-
riwayah to be
could you-
Hafs, the liar.
Could you allow me, please? Could you allow me, please?
Just want to think. the
Okay,
problem
so when
is
it comes to
why-
hadith, just allow me like 2 minutes. Just let me talk for 2 minutes. So when it comes to the hadith,
Say it again.
okay, can I speak now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
Thank you very much. So when it comes to the hadith, so basically the hadith is the prophet's talking, let's say, or words that he spoke onto a group of people that should have been present in his in that time when he was speaking. Let's say like it's a 10 or 12. So not all of the people know about what the prophet was saying at this time, except from the 21s. So the hadith or the narrations should come to those 20 people who heard directly from the prophet. Now, the Quran is known to every Muslim
Not true.
at that time.
Not true.
Is that true?
Not true.
Is that true?
Were you the Muslim that
Why
didn't know
it's
who
not true?
Zayd was? Are you the same Muslim that didn't know who Zayd? Are you that guy?
No, maybe different.
Zayd bin Thabit?
No.
Is that? Do you know Zayd bin Thabit?
Zayd, I think, is one of the disciples of the prophet.
I think you're the guy maybe from last time. Anyway, so I'm surprised.
It's
the
my
level-
first time.
Okay. Oh, first time. Okay, well, welcome. So, the reason why Muslims wanted to compile the Quran in the first place, Abu Bakr specifically, is because there was, the Battle of Yamama.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened? What happened in what happened in Ghazwat al-Yamama? What happened in the Battle of Yamama?
I'm not pretty sure about the details, but people.
So
got
a lot
killed.
of
people who are memorizing
here-
the
here's the
Quran
thing,
got killed,
most-
so they need to.
We have a theory on this. So Muslims think that Allah gave a promise to preserve the Quran. So they thought, hey, it'd be a great idea if we send a bunch of reciters of the Quran into battle because Allah promised to preserve the Quran. And if the Quran is preserved in these guys' hearts, well, they need to survive. So what ended up happening was
They got slaughtered.
they got slaughtered. And so what Abu Bakr
Sorry.
said, what he said was, okay, so we need to actually start writing down the Quran now because people that are dying off now. He said that's why David quoted earlier Ibn Omar, who said, "Don't say that you have the Quran. Don't say that you have the Quran. Say what I have."
Yeah.
What
لا
I have.
يقولن أحدكم قد أخذت القرآن كله.
Yeah.
Let no one say I have memorized the
All of
entire
the Quran.
وما يدريه ما كله. What does he know? What is the entirety of it? It says قد ذهب منه قرآن كثير.
Kathir, a lot of the Quran.
A lot of the Quran has gone.
So the Quran, so that's what they were saying. They were saying, look, the Quran's gone missing because these guys are dying. So Zayd bin Thabit, he was the one that was one of the people that was commissioned to compile the Quran by Uthman, but also by Abu Bakr. And he said, how can you command me to do something that Muhammad never did? Like, how can you ask me to put the Quran in a book, a mushaf, if Muhammad never did that? So, you know, eventually he ended up agreeing. But the point is that this is why they wrote down the Quran, because many people were forgetting it. It wasn't the case that everybody had it memorized.
No.
Otherwise, they
Not
wouldn't
everybody,
have...
not everybody, but a lot of people.
No, not enough for it to be preserved, because as the quote that we just told you is
It has been preserved.
People were saying much of the Quran, a lot of the Quran, ذهب means it's gone, finished. So we actually have
yeah, they meant that a lot of
a large
the one
part
who
of the
memorizes
Quran.
the Quran has died.
Yeah, فيذهب قرآن كثير.
That's Abu Bakr.
Abu Bakr was saying, look, يوم اليمامة. It says إن القتل قد استحر يوم اليمامة بقراء القرآن, which means slaughter has taken many of the Qur'an of the Quran,
the readers of the
Quran on the day of Yamama. And he says, and I'm afraid that a lot of the Quran has gone with them. So he says, let's collect the Quran. He says, وَإِنِّي أَرَى أَن تَأْمُرَ بِجَمْعِ الْقُرْآنِ. Let's collect the Quran. Because why? Because people were dying in the battle that had learned the Quran. And then what did Zayd say? He said, كيف أفعل شيئا لم يفعله رسول الله. Like he said, how
can I do something that Muhammad didn't do?
Yeah, he says, and Omar was like trying to say, no, do it. So Zayd didn't want to do it. And then Zayd said, Omar and Abu Bakr kept, especially Omar, he kept going at him saying, let's collect it.
Until it says Allah.
Until Allah opened his heart.
And we have
hadith if you wanted, Bukhari 719.
Yeah, what's the relevance with what I was saying?
The relevance is if everybody or a lot of people, like you say, knew the Quran, why did people? Why would Abu Bakr and Omar were begging Zayd?
He was scared, literally, right?
He was scared. He said, "Akhsha."
So he was scared. So
yeah, he's thinking logically. Yeah,
exactly. So he didn't have this belief that you had that hey, everybody had the Quran memorized. He's like, I'm scared. We're gonna lose the Quran.
And that was at the time of the Sahaba. Before Uthman.
Yeah, that's said in the Arabic al-qiyam bil-asbab.
Yeah, but that's before Uthman burnt all the copies of the Sahaba's Masahif. Before Uthman burnt all of them.
And by the way, that's a good point too. I mean, this is a point too, that why would you burn the copies of the Quran if everyone had it memorized? Why would you burn them?
And even some of the Sahaba had their own Mus'hafs, and Uthman still burnt them.
Yeah, so because that's actually an argument for us, because they built a committee that they know they're trustworthy and they were with the Prophet and they know which is the Quran, which is not.
They were not trustworthy. Ibn Masud said, "Why would you take from Zayd's Quran? He was a little boy when he was in the loins of a kafir, right?
He was fisol b'kafir, which means he was still not born.
While he was learning 70 chapters of the Quran from Muhammad. So Ibn Masud, a big senior companion, not like he wasn't like a little kid when Muhammad died. He was a senior companion of Muhammad, like older, and he said, "I'm not gonna don't give your Qurans up. Don't do this." And so for many years, about 200 years, the people of Kufa continued to use the Quran of Ibn Masud. For 200 years.
And the Muslims now don't use the Ibn Masud Quran, even though Ibn Masud was one of the four that Muhammad said, "Khud al-Quran min." From the four that Muhammad said, "Take your Quran from." Ibn Masud actually didn't like the committee that you were happy about. He wasn't happy about them, and he wasn't happy that he was excluded from the committee.
Yeah,
he wasn't in it, even though Muhammad said, "Take your Quran from him." They didn't put him in the committee. Can you believe that?
In fact, you know.
Yeah, I would believe that because Uthman is one of the Prophet's Sahaba. So if he decides not to be in the committee,
the people that he chose. So he chose Zayd as one of the people to write the Quran. He also chose three men from Quraysh. Guess what? They were about 10 years old when Muhammad died. All three of them. We have their biographical literature. And they were about 10 years old when Muhammad died. They had no significance in Muhammad's.
Are you comparing 10 years old of that time with the 10 years old?
They had no significance.
Milking from their moms nowadays.
They had no significance in Muhammad's life at all. and they just happen to all be the son-in-laws of Uthman. They
Yeah.
happen to be married to his daughters.
It's nepotism.
Yeah.
He didn't choose the best ones, or even
Ubay, Ali.
even though they were all available, he didn't choose them. And
The four that Muhammad said.
yeah, he didn't choose them. He chose the ones that were married to his daughters because of nepotism, even though he had access to senior companions. And even Ibn Mas'ud's Quran and Ubay's Quran, they're all different to your Qurans today. And Ibn Mas'ud was known for he's being against that committee. He said that's wrong. They don't know the Quran like we do. And these are the ones that you guys got, the Uthman got the Quran from, that you guys pretend to get the Quran from. And even Uthman, though you say he's a companion, he should listen to Muhammad. Muhammad, did he have in his committee any of the four that Muhammad said take your Quran from? No. Even though he knew, he chose his sons-in-law.
And Zayd.
And Zayd,
yeah. Zayd, they're all kids.
Zayd wasn't even born. Zayd ibn Thabit wasn't even born when the Quran was being revealed to Muhammad. He went to a little kid, and he had the big senior Sahaba still alive. What you talking about? Ain't no preserved. All right.
You're not making a point, to be honest. You're not making.
Okay, let's ask the
point
chat.
here.
Are we making a point, you guys, or is Muhammad making a point?
No, I'm not. You are the guys who are making a claim, but it's not really a good point, because I would. It's not. It comes to a little bit. I'm not very, let's say, familiar with all the what you're saying. Take the book, خذ الكتاب خذ القرآن من زي.
Okay, shall we give you that? Shall we?
No problem. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that.
We get this a lot. If you're not familiar, how can you argue with us?
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing with that. Since I have no knowledge, I have. I'm not saying you're lying either. I'm not saying. I'm just saying you're not making any sense. Absolutely not.
Yeah, let's just put this up on the screen real quick, life.
Let's put this. خذ القرآن من أربعة. Just so we just be nice to you, even though you don't take anything from us. Take it from your Muhammad then.
Okay, so there you go. So we didn't make this up. Okay, you can see, you know Arabic. So there's the Arabic. English is on the other side.
Yeah. Let's see these four people, well, if they were in the committee or not.
Because we can show that hadith next. We actually have the names of all of them. And they're all, they happen to be the sons-in-laws of Uthman. So yeah.
All right.
So remember those names. You have enough time to memorize those names. We're gonna get the other hadith up, just real quick, once we get this situated here. And then it's in Al-Bukhari, Sunnah.com, Bukhari. Actually, I mean, we have the names here. There's, apart from Zayd, there's
Sa'id ibn al-As, there's Abdurrahman ibn al-Harith ibn Hisham, and there's Abdullah ibn Zubayr.
And then Zayd. None of those.
And there's Zayd ibn Thabit. He took four that are not what the Muhammad said. And even though he had access to at least Ubay ibn Ka'b at the time, and Mu'ayyad actually. So, like, I know, and I'm not even a Muslim, that I would have taken the four that the Prophet said to take.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question, to be honest.
What?
Well, are you? Like,
what was gonna be your question?
I used to follow this nonsense, and now I follow the Lord Jesus Christ, who's alive now, not dead.
Oh, for real? You find more sense in the Bible than the Quran?
Let's leave what's on the screen and divert. Yeah, I know the Dawa script better than you do, because I used to be in it.
Yeah, sure.
Let's divert.
May God guide you into the truth. I'm not disrespecting any religion. I just.
Yeah, you disrespected the Bible when you first came.
Why I disrespected?
Okay,
you're disrespecting then the Quran by saying they were fabrications. Just pointed a claim that they were fabrications.
Can you tell us why?
I never disrespect the Bible.
Can you tell us why those four were not in your great committee?
I have zero idea, but those four being excluded from the committee had. So what? Uthman had another view that maybe the other ones had memorized the Quran.
He had a better view than Muhammad. Well,
because let's say not.
He just said
Muhammad, because basically, I said yeah. Okay, yeah, you can clip that. You do whatever you do. I just said no, but you're timing the yeah with her question. Yeah, that's what you do. But what I was trying to say, that you said that these four were not even born at the time of Muhammad, so probably Muhammad.
No, we didn't say they were born.
No, they didn't.
We said
the one that
9 years old,
They were
10
like
years old.
tiny.
They were,
Zayd was actually not born, but the rest were like chill, like
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm
like
saying.
they were like
So even the
Aisha's
prophet
age.
didn't know them. So probably Uthman said, since they grew up at the time of Uthman instead of the prophet, so Uthman looked that they are a better memorized or something. There must be a logical explanation since there are time zone difference.
Okay, what's the
Yeah,
logic?
there must be.
There must be, but we don't know it. We don't know.
Yeah,
what the
I
logic
just
is.
want to because there are people in the there are people watching who for whom this is quite a bit of new information. So let me just break it down. Very simple terms. Everyone who's watching, Muhammad, the guy who's receiving these revelations that are in your Quran, Muhammad told his followers who the best, most knowledgeable people about what the Quran is supposed to be are. He gave a list of people, and it's right there in front of you. He said, hey, you want to learn the Quran? You want to learn the Quran? Go to these 4 people: Ibn Masud, Ubay ibn Ka'b, Mu'adh bin Jabal, and Salam, the freed slave of Abu Hudhaifa. So he says, hey, learn the Quran from these 4 people. So according to Muhammad, who are the best people to learn the Quran from? These guys. Can you learn the Quran from other people and learn parts of the Quran? Sure. These are his top experts in the Quran. He says, you want to learn the Quran from anyone? Learn it from these guys. All right. Then later on, after a bunch of people who have parts of the Quran memorized die in battle, and Muslims realize, wait, we need to put this book into a physical form so that we don't keep losing more. You had that, and then even after that, people are making their own Qurans, and you end up with all these different recitations of the Quran, and people are worried during the time of the Caliph Uthman that all these differences in the way they're reciting the Quran are going to start causing Muslims to fight over the Quran. And so they say, we need an official version here. So Uthman orders everyone to hand over their Qurans, and he puts together a committee of people to decide what the official version of the Quran is, right? So he puts together a committee. Here's the committee. These are the experts in the Quran who are going to decide what the official version of the Quran is. What does he do? He gets completely different people from the ones that Muhammad said learn the Quran from. So Muhammad said learn the Quran from these guys. Uthman doesn't go to any of those guys. He goes to completely different guys. And what Jai&Doc are pointing out is these guys were basically kids during the time of Muhammad. They're kids. So you have the experts in the Quran who are experts in the Quran, according to Muhammad, who are actually there while he's receiving the revelations. They're memorizing and so on. And Uthman, by the time you get to Uthman, they say, okay, Uthman, you're going to decide what the Quran is. He gets a bunch of people who are kids, who are just little kids during the time when the Quran's being revealed. And it would be one thing if they all agreed. It would be one thing if Uthman's committee of children lined up perfectly with the experts that Muhammad chose. They didn't. The people that Muhammad chose lost their minds about this new Quran that was being. And I'll just quote, this is from Jamia Tirmidhi. Jamia Tirmidhi, anyone can look it up, 3104. Ibn Masud. So look at the list of names there. Ibn Masud. Muhammad mentions Ibn Masud as his top guy. Here's what Ibn Masud said when Zayd ibn Thabit's Quran was put out by Uthman. Here's what he says. He says, "Oh, you Muslim people." This is Muhammad's top expert in the Quran. "Oh, you Muslim people, avoid copying the Mus'haf and recitation of this man. By Allah, when I accepted Islam, he was but in the loins of a disbelieving man." So this guy wasn't even born yet when I started learning Islam. He said, I accepted Islam. When I accepted Islam, he was but in the loins of a disbelieving man, meaning Zayd ibn Thabit. Who's Zayd ibn Thabit? He's the leader of the committee that produced the Quran that your Qurans today are ultimately descended from. And it was regarding this that Abdullah ibn Masud said, "O people of Al-Iraq, keep the Musahif that are with you and conceal them." He said, don't trust this guy's Quran. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He wasn't even born when I started learning the Quran. Don't trust him. Don't trust his Quran. Does that sound like someone who agreed with the Quran that was put out during this time? No, it sounds like he's saying that Quran is wrong and I've got the correct Quran. So when they come to burn your Qurans to cover up the differences, do not hand over your Qurans. We've got the true Quran. They've got some weird new thing made by kids. And that's the Quran that Muslims think is the accurate Quran. But guys, I don't know how this is so difficult to understand. Either Muhammad knew who the most knowledgeable people were when it came to the Quran, or he didn't. If he knew the people who are most knowledgeable about the Quran, guess what? Those are the people who condemned your Quran that you use today. They condemn it. They said, this is a Quran put together by little kids. What are you doing? These kids, they don't know it. They don't know anything about these revelations. We were there. They weren't. They were kids, or they weren't even born yet. That's what Muhammad's experts in the Quran said. So either Muhammad knows what he's talking about when he's choosing his people who are knowledgeable about the Quran, or he doesn't. If Muhammad knows who's most knowledgeable about the Quran, guess what? Those are the same guys who condemn your Quran today. So why are you telling us to trust it when the people Muhammad selected did not trust it? Or Muhammad didn't know who the best in the Quran is. And why should we take anything seriously? If your own prophet doesn't know who the most knowledgeable people about the Quran are, and Uthman gets to come along later and says, oh, dumb Muhammad, he thought it was Ubay ibn Ka'b and Ibn Masud and so on who knew the Quran best. No, it was these little kids. These kids know best. Kids always know best about everything. So that's the problem. It's either way, you got a problem here. And what do Muslim scholars say? No, perfect preservation, right down to the letter from the time of Muhammad, and it's all nonsense. Like how can you look at this and not see the problem? You've got a Quran that Muhammad's top experts in the Quran that were handpicked by Muhammad himself condemned. How do you not see the problem here? I don't know. Weird.
There is absolutely a problem, because the one that you're talking about is Zayd. He has been the writer of the Prophet. So he is, when revelation used to come down to the Prophet ﷺ, so he was the one to write down, and he is basically the let's say the leader of the committee. So yeah, I think it's fair enough.
You're muted, Jai, if you're talking.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, we were just getting up the reference.
So we're just going to show how
yeah.
much Abdullah ibn Mas'ud hated this committee and what they were doing, and how he told everybody to do the opposite.
Yeah,
we'll just put the hadith on the screen. Let's see the hadith.
And we can go over the names.
It's Sahih hadith. Do you see that? Jami' at-Tirmidhi 3104. I don't know if they can see it or not.
Yeah, they can see it.
Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, "O people of Al-Iraq, keep the musahif that are with you and conceal them." That means hide them. For indeed Allah said, whoever conceals something, he shall come with what he concealed on the day of judgment. So meet Allah with the musahif. So Zuhri said it was conveyed to me that.
Yeah.
See that? The most virtuous of the companions of the Messenger disliked that view of Ibn Mas'ud.
So they acknowledge that Ibn Mas'ud is against Zayd and Uthman.
So basically, well, that's my point of view. Let's say I'm not confirming any scholar's point of view, but I guess this Sahabi you're talking about is from Sham, from Iraq.
Their disagreement was brought to Uthman right here.
Yeah. So what happened was.
He's from Sham. I'm saying.
Yeah. What happened was.
Sham.
What happened was Hudayfa went. He came to Uthman, and he told them that the people in Iraq and Armenia, etc., like Asham, they were disagreeing about the different readings of the Quran, and so
because they have another dialect.
Oh,
That's probably why. And they recited it.
Dialect. 1 second. Ibn Mas'ud, where is he from?
That's what I asked you. That's
Ibn
my first
Mas'ud
question.
is from Quraysh. Uthman, where is he from?
And he was
Uthman,
pointing.
1 second.
There's a
Uthman
disagreement in the Iraq.
Uthman is from Quraysh and Ibn Mas'ud is from Quraysh. They're both from Quraysh.
And
they had a
Uthman was
disagreement.
pointing. Okay. And disagreement about people in the Iraq and Sham.
Yeah, because and who was sent?
Yeah, so that's
who was sent to them. The people who were sent to them were from Quraysh, were around Muhammad.
But the disagreement, he was talking about the people from Iraq. So they probably had. I'm saying another.
No, we can show you the difference if you want to see the details. One of you guys can talk to him. I'll get the reference for that. Yeah.
What we're trying to say is when Uthman was doing his committee that you said, Ibn Mas'ud said to everyone, keep your books, keep your masahif, your Quran.
And he was talking And he
He's
was
not
talking to people from.
he was talking to people from Iraq. He was saying to
Okay,
them,
perfect.
he was saying to them, keep your books. He didn't say dialects. Okay.
Masahif,
He said masahif.
Yeah,
your
because
book.
they wrote it by their hands.
Oh, really? So Ibn Mas'ud said, keep those books, because he said
Yeah,
that
because
they're from Allah.
they wrote them by their hands.
Yeah, what are they gonna write? Are you gonna write with your foot? Of course, you're gonna write with your hand. They were wrote
Yeah,
those.
what I meant that they don't have a copy of a Quran that has been written in the tribe of Quraysh, and they
Really?
read it differently. They
Okay, so Ibn
heard
Mas'ud,
it and they
okay.
go on.
So Ibn Mas'ud, did Muhammad not say take the Quran from Ibn Mas'ud? We just
I
showed you.
totally agree with you. I totally agree with you with that.
Okay, so
And
they should have done what Ibn Mas'ud said.
Okay,
They should have done what Ibn
no
Mas'ud
problem.
said, but they didn't. Historically, it was Uthman who won. He took all
Okay,
these.
and who is Zayd ibn Harith?
Not Zayd ibn Harith, Zayd ibn Thabit. You got the names
Zayd ibn
wrong.
Thabit.
Who am I talking to, man?
Okay.
You're getting
Okay,
the
so
two Zayd mixed up.
we're probably talking about the same person, but
No,
we're not.
he's not the one. He's not the one. He's not the one who has been.
Zayd ibn Haritha. Zayd ibn Haritha is the
Okay.
dude that. No, Zayd ibn Haritha, for people who don't know, is the man that Muhammad stole his wife, his daughter-in-law at the time. That's not the Zayd we're talking about. We're talking about Zayd ibn Thabit.
Yeah, guy, everyone who's watching, there are multiple Zayds here. So you have one Zayd who was Muhammad's adopted son until Muhammad saw his adopted son's wife practically naked, and he got really attracted to her. And then Allah suddenly revealed to him that he was going to have to take the wife of his own adopted son. And you have this in the Quran. But all these things are connected. Why? Because these revelations about Muhammad needing to take the wife of his own adopted son, those are in Surah 33. And then, of course, more than 200 verses of Surah 33 come up missing later when Aisha had the only copy and her sheep ate most of it. And then the people who had it memorized died in battle. And therefore, they lost more than 200 verses from Surah 33. This problem led to the need for compiling the Quran. This was during the reign of Abu Bakr. And later on, people are compiling their own Qurans. They come up with all these differences, different ways of reciting the Quran, and so on. So Uthman is told he has to clean this mess up and just put out a standardized version of the Quran. And then he gets a different Zayd. But this is a guy who was condemned by Muhammad's experts in the Quran. This guy wasn't even born when we started learning the Quran. Why are you going with what this guy says? And so you have different Zayds, but they're all problems for Islam.
So really, David, I really see that you don't miss a moment to like disrespect or point something that is.
What did I say? What did I say that is not 100% true?
No problem. But you should see. Okay, if this is a problem, then in your Bible, Lot having sex with his daughter is not a problem. It's not disgusting.
Whoa! Hang on. Hey, perfect example. What should be my problem with the Bible recording someone who does something messed up?
Because it's a prophet.
He's a prophet where? According to the Bible, chapter and verse where Lot is.
Anyways.
Muhammad,
I'm wrong.
Muhammad,
Yeah,
you are wrong. Lot is not a prophet. Lot is not a
whatever.
prophet in the Bible, and the Bible records when people do messed up things. We don't lie about it.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
you're
Sure.
Shakespeare.
I just wanted to point this out. Anyways,
So,
getting back to what I was saying.
I just want to show.
So Zayd
I just want
ibn
to show
Thabit.
Muhammad that these are
So
not. Wait, Muhammad. I just want to show you these were not just dialect. Life, can you put this up on the screen?
Yeah,
okay, just before you go to the next point, we are talking about Zayd
not the
ibn
next point.
Thabit.
It's the same point, my friend.
You were saying that they just had differences in dialect, but this is actually the difference. So this is the story here, and this is basically what it's saying is that they were inside the mosque and they were reciting the Quran. Hudayfa came and he was, he heard them reading the different readings of the Quran. And that's what made him go to Uthman and he say like, oh, I need you to make one single reading of the Quran. Why? Because he actually tells you this is a more detailed, and this is Kitab al-Masahif, yeah,
for Ibn Abi Dawood.
yeah.
So,
and he tells you the difference. This is what he heard. This is what caused confusion. In fact, it actually says.
Yeah, it does say Ibn Mas'ud.
yeah.
كان يقرأ على قراءة عبد الله بن مسعود. Do you see that?
Look at the differences though. It's not dialect.
واختلف في آية من سورة البقرة, and they differed in an ayah in سورة البقرة. The ayah said وأتموا الحج والعمرة للبيت. But they differed. Some of them said وأتموا الحج والعمرة لله.
So just explain the difference.
So here the verse is meant to say, or one of the readings is do the Hajj to the Bayt, to the house, and the other said do the Hajj to Allah. So is this a dialect or what? So it's not that the people of Iraq had a different dialect, or the people of Sham had a different dialect.
Really?
So what happened here? فغضب حذيفة. حذيفة became angry. وأحمرت عيناه, and his eyes became red.
So this is what prompted it. It wasn't different dialects. It wasn't like, oh, someone in Iraq,
Okay.
they said, you know, something, and then someone in Asham said
That's a good
something
point.
else. Yeah, okay. So
That's
we
a
just
good
want to show
point.
you it's
That's a
not
really good
dialect.
point. You know
One of
why?
them says
You know
how-
why? It's a good point for me. It's a good point for me. That's another reason why
You.
they should bring together the
And
Quran,
this is
because
what
they start saying.
This is in the zaman ذاك في زمن عثمان. This was in the time of Uthman. That's why Uthman said,
the time of the one who decided to bring the
yes.
Quran
So
together.
that's why they said, yo, everybody's differing on the words. On the words.
Yeah, exactly.
One second. Not the dialect that you Muslims keep lying, and I'm sick of this stupid lie. It's a dialect. It's like I say tomato, you say tomato.
May God guide you, inshallah. May Allah guide you to the truth.
One verse said house, the other verse said Allah. Different words. Sick of this.
Yeah, I'm
totally. I'm sick of this dialect nonsense, man. Tired of it.
You're not
I'm
sick
tired
of
your
Flo
lies.
having sex with his daughter. You're not.
Here we go.
You're
You
not getting sick of
you
nothing.
really
Yeah, but double standards. That's double
He
standards.
says something about
Yeah,
dialect.
that's double
He says
standards.
dialect. He's like, oh, look at Lot's daughter.
Trust Muslims.
Isn't this insane?
No, because she's bringing another point.
Isn't this just absolutely insane? What's the double standard here? A
I was
double
talking to
standard.
her.
Yeah.
She's-
Where's
I
the
was
double
talking to
standard?
her.
Yeah, but where's the
The
double standard?
when she said, I'm sick of this nonsense. I was meaning that the Bible makes a lot of nonsense than the ambiguous thing in the Quran.
A double standard would be, we say it's okay for someone to have sex with his daughter in the Bible. We don't say that, and then say, oh, it would be wrong for someone in Islam to have sex with it. We don't. We say it would be wrong either way. So that's not
even okay to document something like this.
Double standard.
Okay.
That's not a double standard.
You know,
stop condemning
the
your own
double standard.
prophet.
I'll tell you.
Stop. No, you
I'm
can't.
not condemning.
No,
I'm not condemning.
Hey, whoa. We can actually condemn it because who is Lot to us? You believe that he's a prophet,
Okay, no
and
problem.
according
no
to the
problem.
Bible, he slept with his daughters. Therefore, according to you, you just condemned a prophet. We don't believe he's a prophet. We don't believe he's a prophet. You believe he's a prophet. So you believe that a prophet committed incest. So that would be your issue.
I'm saying double. I'm saying double.
You don't know what double standards
you
are.
You are.
You
Okay, no problem.
Standards
Because
are.
you claim that the Bible is the word of God. Just let me finish a sentence,
double
man.
standard. But you're not making any
Be
sense.
like them. Be like them. They're more respectful than you are.
Standard for you. Here's a different standard for me. No one is saying that. You're the one with the issue.
Yeah, I didn't have to cut my microphone.
You say this guy's a prophet and he did this. We don't believe. I've never met a Christian who believes that Lot's a prophet. So you believe he's a prophet. So you believe he did that. Then you believe that you got a prophet doing that. So that's a problem for you, right? But you shouldn't regard it as a prophet because whatever Lot did is nothing compared to what Muhammad did.
Anyway, that's not the subject of the day. I'm not really. You can go back to
Yeah, you were the one who brought it up.
Probably gonna
You're the one who brought it up. We were talking about Allah and his bayt and the house, and then you brought up sex.
Yes.
Trust Muslims to bring sex.
No, because you're talking about nonsense. No,
well, it is
because
nonsense,
you're talking
isn't
about
it?
nonsense. There is a lot of nonsense in the Bible.
Is Allah and bayt dialect? To say that they're both dialects.
I'm totally agreeing with you. You didn't even let me finish my point.
Yeah,
so
because you have to bring up sex for the rest of Muslims because they're obsessed with sex.
Because
you're
talking about nonsense.
Language, you bring up sex. I was saying nonsense meaning language. You brought up sex because you're obsessed.
Because David brought up sex. It's not me. Why are you trying to make me the one who's wrong?
You brought up a lot.
Oh, what about
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you brought,
because
you,
yeah,
you brought
because
up you
he,
brought
he's
up
the one
Lot
who.
because you brought up the wrong Zayd, and I wanted to clarify to everyone the difference between these two
So you
Zayds.
no, you brought up Zayd, and then I brought up Lot. So yeah, that's thank you very much for reminding me. So we were talking about Zayd ibn Thabit, and he was the one who was writing the revelation of the Prophet. Why is the best idea from of man to appoint him as the leader? Because
No,
he
it's
was the
not.
one who's is Zayd ibn Thabit.
No, it's not the best idea. That's why Ibn Masud objected to it.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes.
really? It's not the best idea of the one who was writing the revelation from
Yes,
the Prophet.
that's why Ibn Masud objected
Okay,
to it.
whatever.
You want us to
Yeah,
show you
okay,
what
whatever.
Hassan said in Arabic?
Yeah,
You
whatever.
want us to show
Whatever.
He
you?
doesn't know.
He doesn't care. He'd rather
Whatever.
The other
Whatever.
guy,
Whatever.
at least he was like, "Oh, I want to take notes. I want to do this
yeah,
and
this
that."
guy.
He
He'd
just.
rather think about Lot and his daughters.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
the deal.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
So anyway, yeah. Next. Thanks for
Wow.
coming.
Awful. So, guys,
So-
everyone who's watching, are we any closer to anyone trusting in the preservation of the Quran? Again, the main issue, ladies and gentlemen, is for decades, Muslim scholars and popular da'is in their talks and lectures and in their books, their apologetics books and so on, their Dawa books, claimed perfect dot for dot, letter for letter preservation of the Quran. They claimed it was a miracle. They claimed that there's not one letter of difference between any two Qurans ever. They were claiming that. We exposed it as a lie. Then when we exposed it as a lie, then they said, okay, there are differences in the Quran, but they're just differences of dialects. We exposed that as a lie. Then they said, oh yeah, so there are different meanings, and it's not just different dialects, but these different meanings complement one another. Then we exposed that as a lie. So no, you actually have contradictory meanings and so on. Not only that, but we go to the history of the Quran as recorded by your own Muslims over the centuries, and it sounds like a giant mess. Muhammad's own companions couldn't even agree on what's supposed to be in the Quran. You go to Ibn Masud, 111 chapters. You go to Ubay ibn Ka'b, 116 chapters. You go to Zayd ibn Thabit, who was a mere who wasn't even born when Abdullah ibn Masud became a Muslim. And this is the guy who decides, no, it's 114 chapters. And so you have those kinds of issues. Uthman has to burn all the Qurans to cover up their differences. And even after he issues an authoritative Quran, you still end up with all these differences in the Qurans. And so Muslims have to decide, hey, we've got all these different Qurans with all these differences in it. Who are we going to listen to? You eventually get to the Ottoman Empire, they're in charge. Their favorite version is the Hafs Quran. And we look at Hafs, and Hafs is regarded as a liar who can't be trusted if he tells you something that Muhammad said. And yet the vast majority of Muslims today all trust him with preserving the Quran, even though the guy was a known liar. So we're pointing this out. And again, the main issue is just how do you keep going back to the exact same liars who just lied to you? It's like Islam is the opposite of the boy who cried wolf story. The more the little boy comes out and screams wolf and he's lying, the more they trust him. Like guys, that's the idea behind the boy who cried wolf story. A little kid's bored. He's supposed to watch the sheep. He gets bored. He runs to the town. Oh, there's a wolf coming. The town runs out to deal with the wolf, but there is no wolf. He lied. He made it up. And he does this a couple times until, guess what? There's an actual wolf that shows up. The kid warns the people. They don't listen to him anymore because they don't trust him. What's that mean? It means for normal human beings, if you lie several times, the more you lie, the more people are going to stop trusting you. Not going to trust you if you keep lying. Somehow in Dawa, it's the exact opposite. The more you lie, the more the ummah will trust you. The more lies you tell, the more the ummah will trust you. And you tell a lie and you spread this lie for years until the lie gets exposed. Then this same ummah will go back to the same guy who lied to them for all these years and say, tell us what the new lie is. And he'll tell a new lie. And then that lie will get exposed. And then the ummah will go back to the exact same liar. Okay, what's the new lie? And they'll say, here's the new lie. And then they'll spread that lie around until that lie gets exposed. And it never crosses anyone's mind in the ummah to stop trusting the liars. And it's been like this for centuries of Islam. We point out how massively and insanely dysfunctional this is, and they get mad at us. But what about Lot? What about Lot? Dude, everyone you listen to all your entire life as a Muslim is a compulsive liar. How do you not see this problem? And even with the Quran, we trust the Hafs Quran. Okay, Hafs is a liar. And the bigger a liar he is, the more you trust it. What is this religion, man? It's like opposite world.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Just a little correction. Ibn Mas'ud is from Mecca. I said Quraysh. Sorry about that. He's from Mecca.
no, you mean the tribe. Yeah.
Ibn Mas'ud, the tribe. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's from Mecca. He's from the tribe is Ibn Hudayl, but he was around Muhammad during the times that revelation came. So in Mecca and Medina.
Powerful.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, we have anyone else live or is it... Oh, okay. Praise. Okay. Welcome, Praise.
Hi, how are you guys?
Yeah, we're good. How are you?
I'm good. I got a genuine question. So
Is it
you
on
got,
topic?
I mean, what's the topic actually?
What's the topic?
Yeah,
I love that one.
And actually, forgive me.
Yeah, the topic was about preservation of the Quran. So if you heard something that we said and like the past discussion or whenever you joined in, if you want to ask about that or talk about that.
Well, Mr. Dizzle's son was referring to Muslims as liars. There's
Actually, we were talking about
there's
you
plenty
calling
of
for Hafs
Christians.
a
that
liar.
No, it's talking about the Dawa guys. But I was what I was referring to is how the Ummah just doesn't seem to have a problem when these guys lie. And you know, of course, anyone in the Ummah would say, of course we don't love liars and so on. I'm saying that your actions show the exact opposite. If your Dawa guys and your Muslim scholars spend years telling you perfect dot for dot, letter for letter preservation, we know they know that's a lie. We know they know that's a lie. Any scholar, any expert would know that that is a lie. And yet that is what they told
you
the
guys
Muslim community.
God,
And then when that lie gets exposed, they go to exactly the same guy and say, okay, what are we supposed to say now? And they say, oh yeah, there are differences, but it's just dialects. And then they'll spread that lie. It's not just dialects. And then they'll say, oh yeah, but the meanings all complement each other. No, they don't. You end up with contradictions. And so the point is, everything they say is a lie. And then it's not just the perfect preservation, it's the scientific miracles, it's all kinds of issues. Every issue we brought up for years, Muhammad and Aisha, we were called liars by Muslim scholars and Dawa guys. And yet they were the ones who were lying all the time. And show me a popular Dawa guy who is not a compulsive liar. I don't think you can.
I mean, that's in every religion. You have liars in every religion. You got
but first of all,
people that are saying
no. Take any Christian apologist right now. That Christian apologist gets something wrong, he will get called out. He will get called out by Christians. Christians will say, fix that. If he gets exposed, not just for being wrong about something, but for lying, he's going to have to really, really make people understand why he lied. And we are not going to believe him until somehow he redeems himself. But we're not going to, it's not just going to be, oh yeah, I lied to you. Now let me move on to the next lie. Who do we have who is a popular Christian apologist who is a known liar?
God Logic. I'd
block him for that, man. I'd block him for disrespecting God Logic. God Logic isn't even here.
What's the Injil? You people say the gospel is already in jail. How are accounts?
Wait. Did you just say the gospel's not the Injil? That's what Injil means.
It is not.
Well, the word Injil is the Arabic transliteration of the Greek word evangelion, which is gospel.
You telling me that accounts of Jesus's life is what God revealed to Jesus? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
Okay, so the Quran doesn't make sense. The Quran says that we have the gospel.
Whoa.
The Quran says we have the Injil, and you're saying that the Quran that according to the Quran, the Injil is revelation, is a book given to Jesus. Okay, we don't have that. So the Quran says we have something that we don't have. That's a contradiction. So your book is garbage.
It's not my book, honestly. I'm not a Muslim.
Your name is praise be to Allah. Hey, no. Hey, we said this was honestly call-in show for Muslims.
I believe all of you are just blatant lies just to get attention.
Life, this guy. We said this for Muslims. He comes in with praise be to Allah, and then it turns out he's not a Muslim. La 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 la. There we go. What is this? We couldn't find. What? By the way, What was that? I'm not even a Muslim. This is the guy who was arguing with us.
Praise be to Allah, I'm not a Muslim.
And his name is praise be to Allah. What are you even doing in here, man?
What's the Injil, guys? What's the Injil? I'm not a Muslim.
What's the deal? I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Muslim. The Quran contradicts itself. Yes, I agree. The Quran makes no. That's the point of the Islamic dilemma. The Quran says all these things about the Injil and says that we have the Injil. We have to judge by the Injil. We have no ground to stand upon unless it's upon the Injil. And there's no way to make sense of this because the Injil the Quran affirms what we have. What we have does not line up with Islam, and what we have does not line up with what Islam teaches about the Injil. That's the point. The author of the Quran had absolutely no clue what he was talking about. If Muslims, this would be like me saying, Muslims, I affirm your Quran. Your Quran is as good as gold. You have to judge by your Quran. Your Quran is the speech of God. You have no ground to stand upon unless it's the Quran. And then I say a bunch of things that completely contradict the Quran and show I have no clue what the Quran even says. That's the situation that you're in, Muslims. Your book talks about our book, and your book shows that you have no clue what's in our book. Problem.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, what's up? We're talking about the preservation of the Quran and why it doesn't seem to bother Muslims that they were told for all these years perfect dot for dot, letter for letter preservation, and yet it was all false. It doesn't seem to bother them that they were lied to.
What exactly is false?
Perfect dot for dot, letter for letter preservation. You believe that's true? That the Quran has been perfectly preserved, dot for dot, letter for letter?
There's different dialects. Sure, Hafs and Wash.
We're back on dialects. Did he just call?
Here we go again.
Here we go. It's like we completely refute and destroy a claim, and then the next caller would just bring up the exact same claim that has been completely destroyed.
That's
so he
exactly what
it's dialects. Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you know the last guy was Arab speaker, and he said that's a good point. They're not dialects. Do I have to have this more than 10 times for you guys to know that it's not dialects?
We showed a variant where one of them says the house and the other one says Allah. That's not a dialect.
Do you guys know what a dialect is? A dialect is Americans say potato, I say potato. They say tomato, I say tomato. That's dialect. Dialect is not, the word changes from Allah to house. When are you guys going to give up this nonsense? When are you going to give up this lie? You sound like robots, honestly.
I mean, we don't have contradictions within the Quran.
Oh, here we go. Did we not show a contradiction today and yesterday on this? Do you even watch? Do you watch before you come on?
Can you please show me one contradiction?
You have a request, Jai&Doc. He asked for a contradiction.
No problem.
He diverted from Quranic preservation. You just ignored what they're saying, and now you want to talk about contradictions.
Well, so that's actually fine because if he's saying these are just dialects, and he's asking for a contradiction, then Jai&Doc can just show contradiction between the different versions of the Quran, which obviously can't be a dialect. You don't have a situation where in one dialect they say the exact opposite of something that they say in another dialect, and yet it's just a matter of different dialects.
But just notice this,
exactly, because this is what he's gonna do. So notice how he came up trying to defend the point, and the moment that he realized, oh, you know what, I may not be able to defend that point. Let me bring up something else. So when they show you a contradiction, just don't jump to another point.
Okay.
So here's an example here, and this is a Muslim translator who's putting in Muslim footnotes for different readings of the Quran, and you can read it for yourself.
May I know the name of the Muslim translator?
Father Sulaiman.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an Egyptian, British Egyptian Muslim scholar. And this is his translation called the Bridges Translation. The Bridges Translation of the 10 Qur'at of the Noble Quran.
He doesn't say dialect, by the way.
No, he doesn't say. So I'll read it here. Say, had Allah willed, I would not have read it to you, and he would not have informed you about it. So he would not have informed you about it, about the Quran. But another reading in the footnote here, Al-Bazi says he would have informed you about it, and he even puts in brackets through someone else because he's trying to avoid some sort of contradiction here. But the point is that doesn't help at all. but it's saying he would not have informed you, then he would have informed you. So contradiction, not dialect.
What do you do now that you have a contradiction? What are you gonna do now? You're gonna jump to something else, aren't you? Or you're gonna
Okay,
deny?
What's that?
what book is this?
It's what book? You mean what verse in the Quran?
That's
Chapter 10, verse 16.
Surah Yunus, verse 16.
Okay.
You also find one of your commentators at Tafsir Jalalain talking about it as well, and it's been translated to English, so there's no excuse right here.
You see the screen?
You give him a minute to read it.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the commentary, not our translation, Muslim translation again. Say, if God willed, I would not have recited it to you, nor would he have made it known to you. Okay, then it goes on. And it specifies that it's for this is for the negation. Okay, he would not have made it known to you. Negation. Then it goes on to say a variant reading says he would have made it known to you. So this is now an affirmation. The other one's a negation. So completely opposite meanings. Would have made it known, would not have made it known.
Okay, I have it right in front of me, and it says Allah would have not made it known. So,
right, that's the majority of readings. But if you go to the other reading, it will say that Allah would have made it known.
Do you see here? It says a variant reading in the yellow. A variant reading has the lam la adrakum, different lam. It's called lam al-tawkid, the affirmative lam. The lam that you have is lam alif, you know, la as in not. That was the one in Hafs. This variant reading is just la, just one. The lam without the alif. That's called the affirmative lam. That means it's the opposite, right? So it's not negative anymore, it's positive.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. That's a opposite contradiction in readings.
Not dialect.
Nothing to do with dialect. I don't see dialect mentioned here at all by Jalalain.
And here's the point, Mids, and how it ties into what we were talking about earlier. Here's the thing. So if you go back 10 years, 12 years, Muslims weren't even talking about differences being the result of dialects. The main thing you heard was there are no differences, not one letter's difference between any two Qurans. That's what we heard back then. Then when people started pointing out, actually, look, here are two different Qurans, and they say something different in the Arabic, the response from the same Dawa guys was, it's just different dialects. And that's obviously what you heard, because you're saying, yeah, they're different dialects. Okay, we got differences, but yeah, they're just different dialects. Now you've been shown indisputably that this isn't simply different dialects. You actually have contradictory meanings in these different versions of the Quran. But here's the thing. I already know in advance, you are not going to have the slightest bit of problem with all the Dawa guys who told you it's just dialects. That's what's confusing me. If there was a Christian scholar and he was telling me, oh, yes, differences in Bible manuscripts and different textual variances just because of dialects, and I listened to him for years, and then it turns out he was a complete liar, I would not trust that guy anymore. What we're pointing out is it never seems to affect the popularity of a Dawa guy, how much he lies, except for the fact that the more you lie, the more popular you seem to become, and that's what we're confused about.
Yeah.
Glad you agree there.
Yeah. But I want to know, the person who wrote and this Arabic speaker who you refer to, is he native in Arabic?
It's Jalalain. This is
Jalalain. Do you know who Jalalain is?
What do you mean is he native in Arabic?
Do you know who Jalalain?
We have Al-Qurtubi as well.
Yeah, these are some of the most popular and respected Muslim commentators of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hundreds of years dead now.
We have Al-Tabari as well. We have Adani as well. We have in Arabic and in English translated for.
You're a non-Arab in the 21st century asking about your most authoritative Arab scholars in history. Like your arrogance of Muslims today is amazing. We had someone yesterday say, "Who's Ibn Abbas, the cousin of your prophet?" He says, "Who's Ibn Abbas to do with the Quran?" The arrogance, the one that Muhammad said, take your interpretation, you ta'wil al-Quran from him.
So to answer the question, yes, they're native Arabic speakers. Yes,
and they are.
So what's your response to that?
Ancient scholars.
So what's your response?
Response to what?
You asked if they're native Arabic speakers. Yes, they are.
Okay.
Okay, so now what you
So
gonna
now
do?
what?
Now what you gonna do?
What do you mean? What am I gonna do? Like,
Are you
You asked the question. No, because you were trying to make a point by saying, "Are they native Arabic speakers?" So the answer is yes. So what? So where were you trying to go with that?
if you can show me a reference from Ibn Kathir, then sure.
What do you mean a reference from Ibn Kathir?
So you just plucked a name out of the air. So the
Ibn
Tabari is
Kathir.
not good enough. A Jalalain is not
The
good
Ibn
enough. It has
Kathir
to
is
be
not
Ibn
us.
Kathir, yes.
The closest one who was the closest ones to Muhammad's. It was the same way he wrote it. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So let's go to So you think Ibn Kathir is before Al-Tabari?
Do you know your Muslim history? Tabari came first.
Sorry, what?
Do you think that Ibn Kathir came before Al-Tabari?
Tabari came
I
first.
want to know. Do you know? Do you think that?
Obviously, he doesn't know.
I haven't done my research on that, sir. But I want to see from Ibn Kathir because he's not the one who's most
Tabari is
close.
not good.
So we have like we have like multiple commentaries here. The one that we don't have, you want us to go look it up? Well, fine. We'll look it up for you. But just like everything else, we're gonna bring it up to you, and you're just gonna, like David said, you're just gonna have no problem.
So why is Tabari not good enough? Tabari is way before Ibn Kathir.
I'm not saying he's not good enough.
Okay, can we go to Tabari then? Is he good enough or not?
I don't know who that is.
So Tabari is about 300 years after Muhammad.
Okay.
Okay. And when did Ibn Kathir come? Do you know?
No, not really.
Okay, so you don't know anything. So Ibn Kathir came about 700 years after Muhammad. So about 400 years later, you want Ibn Kathir, but you don't want the 400 years before Ibn Tabari. I'm just trying to just on your logic. Why do you just pluck someone out of the air because you just know the name? Is that why?
No, because Islam is the most closest one, and there's
he's not the closest
he's
one.
not the closest. I just told you. Tabari came 300 years after Muhammad. Ibn Kathir came 700 years after Muhammad. So who's the closer? We'll see
I got a question, man. Mids, what are you doing up there, man?
Yeah,
but does that necessarily make it?
Oh, he's a troll.
Mids, what are you doing up here?
Oh.
I just asked the questions.
No. Just what are you doing up here? Just be honest.
I came to discuss.
Okay, so it seems like you don't really know anything. So ask a question, learn, and then don't just ask irrelevant questions after. Just accept the answer and say, okay, I'm gonna go do my research. But you're asking for irrelevant things when they're presenting information to you on the screen. You just keep asking irrelevant questions, bro.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. So did you learn anything? Did you learn anything today?
Sure. But
And what are you gonna do with the information?
When I do my research on it.
There it is. So is there anything else you want to ask or what? Or
but
can we
I'm
wrap this up?
Does that necessarily make it the closest one?
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah.
Isn't even know how to ask a proper question. What are you talking about?
No, it sounded like he was. It sounded like he was asking. Like a couple minutes ago, it sounded like he was going to say, sound like where he was going to go was, does being earlier make it more reliable or something like this? But
right.
he has no idea about the status of Tabari and so on.
I'm getting like really surprised about the knowledge of Muslims, like that not know who Zayd bin Thabit is and things like that, or like it's like
Ibn Abbas.
Yeah, it's like what's going on?
What are they teaching them? Like, when I was younger, they taught me all this stuff. I don't know what's happening. They're teaching them less as the generation's going on, or like I don't know.
It is weird. Yeah, Nabil and I years ago, like 2000, I don't know, 2008, 2009, something like that. We went to ISNA, the Islamic Society of North America's annual meeting. We went to the annual meeting and we went into the Dawa task force meeting where all the Muslims were, the Dawa guys were training Muslims how to attack the Bible and so on. And Nabil started talking to the leader afterwards, the head Dawa guy and so on. And he's asking them, he's saying, hey, you said there's only one Quran, it's perfectly preserved and so on. So what do you do with Abdullah ibn Masud and Ubay ibn Ka'b, who had different thoughts? The guy said, sorry, I never heard of these names before.
Wow.
Like, wait a minute. Like, your own prophet said, if you want to learn the Quran from anyone, learn it from these guys. And here you are, you got Dawa task force. People are running around saying perfect preservation, dot for dot, letter for letter. And it's like, you have no clue. You literally have no clue what you're talking about. You were told to run around saying dot for dot, letter for letter preservation by your scholars who are lying to you, and you know literally nothing. You don't know the basics of the preservation of the Quran in your religion. And it's just that's what I'm talking about. You've got the scholars, they're lying, and you've got the Dawa guys, and they're carrying out they either know they're lying, and lots of Dawa guys know when they're lying and so on, or sometimes they hear stuff from scholars and they don't know anything about it, but they run around spreading it. It's like, again, what is this religion where everything from the top down is just lie until you get exposed, and then come up with another lie, then lie until that gets exposed, and tell another lie, and it never bothers the ummah at all. And I've never seen anything this massively dysfunctional.
But it's not just the lack of knowledge, it's the arrogance of saying who's Ibn Abbas, who's Jalalain, who's Tabari, like throwing these big names under the bus, and they can just about spell their own name Islamically. It's terrible.
Yeah. Powerful. Majid, you're back. So what would you like to discuss with us today?
This will be the last guest too, guys. I gotta go after this.
Yeah, I would like to clarify some of the misconception here.
Sure. Okay.
Great.
Okay. So what
finally we get some clarifications. Go ahead.
What I would like you to understand is that we Muslim, we believe that Quran, the text is the same. It doesn't matter if the translation is different, because it's not the Quran you should blame, it's the translators. You understand? For example, here in Africa, I'm from Africa. I'm from the north. I'm living in the north Nigeria. There is a tribe that speak my native language, but sometimes the word his, they refer it as she.
Just to kind of like save time. So one of the examples we showed earlier, one of the readings says al-bayt, the house, and the other one says Allah. One of the readings says lil bayt, to the house, and the other one says lillah, to Allah. So this is not a matter of dialect or just someone from a different city saying a different way. This one means to the house, and this one means to Allah.
Yeah, both Arabic, no translator. Both Arabic.
Yeah, what you said?
What we said that it's not a matter of dialect. These are two completely different words. One of them means to the house. We're talking about
for example, let me give you an example here.
No,
in Arabic, when you say
I just gave you an example. One of the examples that we just showed earlier, and I'm giving it to you now. One of the readings of the Quran in chapter 2, verses I don't know what the exact
Surah Al-Baqarah.
Yeah, Surah Al-Baqarah.
He should know it. It's about Hajj.
Yeah.
One of the qira'at said, do the Hajj to Allah, and the other one said, do the Hajj to the house.
196, chapter 2, verse 196.
Both in Arabic. Both in Arabic.
Let me clarify that. Okay, let me clarify that. Yeah. You know, in Arabic, maybe at that time, you know, the people
the Arabs at that time.
Let me explain this to you.
Maybe Allah was a house back then.
No. Maybe at that, maybe the dialogue where you said they say al-bayt, maybe in their dialogue al-bayt it could be means a god.
No,
really?
No, because that's not what Hudayfa said. Hudayfa got angry. He got angry about this, and he started to say, well, we need to have one Quran, otherwise we're going to become like Jews and Christians.
So do you hear what you're saying, man?
What do you think the percent of Muslim? What do you think the percent of Muslim? Which Quran are they reading?
We know that most Muslims read Hafs Quran. We know that.
But that's not always been the case. Sometimes in history, Hafs was not the most popular. But anyway, that's above your level. So you think the Arabs confused the word Allah with house at the time of Muhammad?
That's not what I'm saying. You know, I'm just trying to make an example here, because in Africa, you may first
we're talking about the Arabic. We're talking about Arabic.
Yeah, Muhammad didn't come in Africa. The Prophet didn't come in Africa. He didn't come to Nigeria. He came to a place actually very close to where I'm from, and I know the Arabic language very well. I know the Arabs at that time didn't confuse Allah with bayt. They didn't confuse the word God with house. Otherwise, you can't take anything.
That's not what I'm trying to say. Don't get me twisted. That's not what I'm trying to say.
What
All I'm
exactly?
trying to say is
Explain what
that,
you're trying to
okay,
say.
I'm trying to make an example here because, you know, Arabic is an eloquent language. Just because you're an Arab, that doesn't mean you understand everything about Arab.
Oh, but
For
you're an
example, the
African,
word
you're
God, the
Nigerian, you're
word
telling
God.
me, one second. You're Nigerian, you're telling me, an Arab, that.
Let me tell you something. Would you let me complete, please? For example, the Arabic in Sudan, they say bait. For example, in Kitabia, they say ila aina tazahab. Where are you going? In Sudan, they say inta meshwen. Understand?
Okay.
Inta
So what?
So
meshwen.
what? So what? So what?
So the point I'm
The
trying
word
to make here is
Allah,
that.
but the
So
word
what the point
Allah,
I'm
the word
trying to
Allah
make
is the
here.
name. One second. The word Allah that they confuse with the house is the name of their God. You think they'd confuse that with the word house?
But the
You think
majority,
that's
okay,
reasonable?
but if you look at the majority of Muslim, they read Hafs, not
You didn't
words.
say
I'm not.
majority earlier. You didn't say majority earlier. So you're changing your argument now.
You said translation.
First,
No,
what you
no,
said
no,
was that
no,
this.
no, no.
First, what you said is that this is a matter of dialects and pronunciation, and you were talking
Yeah, it's a
about
matter
how
of dialect and
in your tribe,
pronunciation.
some people say things in different ways, but whatever. That was your first argument, and then we pointed out, no, actually, there's different words that have completely different meanings. It's not about a dialectical way of saying one thing and then another dialect saying another thing. They're talking about two completely different things. And
Would you allow me?
Yeah, but
Would
let
you
me finish what I'm
would you
saying.
allow me to make this
And then when you
statement?
put that out, then you started going back to, oh, well, what do most Muslims read? That wasn't your first argument. Your first argument wasn't what do most Muslims read. Your first argument was
Okay,
that
you see,
it's a matter of translation.
yeah, and you said maybe, Majid. You said maybe. That means you don't know. You're just imagining something.
yeah,
You
because
said
yeah, I'm
maybe.
not, I'm not a knowledgeable. So you know,
Yes.
but according to.
So why should we take anything you say? You're just sat here dreaming stuff.
Okay, because I understand Arabic and I read Quran, and I'm very sure that the Quran was not corrupted.
So you understand
I am
Arabic and you
very
think
sure of
bait,
that.
you think lil bait and lillah are the same thing, and you understand Arabic?
Maybe look, maybe the people
No, it's
that
not
wrote
maybe.
the work,
Okay.
maybe
This
according
guy,
to
this
them.
guy,
You're trolling.
yeah.
Okay. Would you let me explain this? Because I'm from Africa. We have like I speak
Yeah, we
6
got you
African
from Africa.
languages.
We heard that
Yeah,
already.
I know
Yeah.
you're not talking about
Africa has
Africa
nothing to do
here.
with this
The thing,
mess.
the point that I'm trying to raise here is that Arabic. I know Arabic is a high eloquent language. So
It's so
imagine in
eloquent.
Africa, just
You can say house and you can say God. It means the same thing.
It's so eloquent that they go
for example, in
Allah and
English,
house.
the word ass. Listen, in English, the word ass is means donkey, and it has another meaning.
So
You understand?
Allah can be also donkey. Is that what you're trying to say, or I'm confused?
Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Why are you saying this? Look, we're
You
having a
just
peaceful
we're
conversation.
trying to follow what
Now
you're
I'm giving
saying.
example. I'm just giving example.
But you
I'm
said
giving
donkey.
example. I think the point. Now I'm giving you example. In English, the word ass is donkey, and then in another meaning it means ass, normal, a butt. Okay,
Okay.
that's
What
the
about
point I'm
Allah?
trying to make.
Can Allah mean different things?
Can Allah mean house?
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand. So ass can mean donkey, and it can mean butt. So Allah, what else can Allah mean according to the
Okay,
eloquence of
I'm
Arabic?
saying that maybe at the time of the people that wrote Warsh, you understand? But I follow
Not
how.
worse.
I,
Warsh wasn't born for hundreds of years yet. We're talking at the time of Muhammad's Sahaba, companions. So I'm asking you at their time, according to your African knowledge of Arabic. He's gone.
No. Life is gone. I don't know where
No.
life went.
Oh, according to your African knowledge of Arabic, what else can Allah mean during the time of the companions?
We definitely got house.
Yeah, house is one.
Does it mean donkey as well, or something else?
If you read Matthew, not Matthew, Psalm chapter
Another
3,
guy
verse
who
number
knows the
19,
Bible.
you should not insult other God.
You made
It
the
says that
claim. You made the claim.
have-
We got two different Qurans, and one says Allah and one says house, and we say, hey, what's going on here? Those are different things, and you're saying, maybe they're the same thing. And so we're saying, okay, what else? So Allah can mean house. Allah can mean house. What else can Allah mean?
Let me ask you something. Can I ask something?
We're asking you.
Answer. I want to know.
Who wrote the Warsh? Who wrote the Warsh and Hafs? Who wrote it?
Oh dear.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about before these people even existed. The companions of Muhammad were reciting the Quran. Some people were saying house in the verse. Some people were saying Allah in the verse.
So you said maybe they're the same thing. So we're asking you, what else does Allah mean? You said ass.
Okay. That's bad. That's bad. Okay, you see, I quote a verse from the Bible where you should not insult other God. Okay,
What are
I'm
you talking
respectful.
about?
I'm
Who's
being
insulting?
respectful here. Okay, please don't go,
You're the
don't
one who
cross the
said
line.
You're the one who your house means
I am giving
Allah.
you
You're the one
example in
insulting.
African language, not Arab language. I'm giving you
You're the one
example.
insulting Allah. You're saying Allah can mean house.
Yeah,
You're
and
the one
then
insulting.
you're the one
I
who
am
opened
not
the door.
saying that.
We're not saying that. You're saying
I'm
that.
not sure. Look, I don't even believe the word bait. I don't even believe in words. Allah is referred
We
as
didn't,
bait. I
It's
don't
not.
believe that.
bring
The
words
point
to
that
It's
you
not
are going to make.
It wasn't Warsh. It was at the time of the Sahaba. Warsh hadn't been born yet. Do you know?
It was the
It was Hudayfa and Ibn Mas'ud.
No, it was Musa al-Ashari.
Yeah, Musa, but he doesn't know Musa al-Ash'ari. It's the time of the companion. Is not going to be born for another 100 to 200 years. They were arguing from back then, saying, is it Bayt or is it Allah? And they were and in the masjid, and they were fighting. So you said maybe they meant the same thing.
No, I never said they made the same. I say maybe, but
okay, so you
the
don't know.
truth
Just
thing
say you
is
don't
that
know.
the word Allah is not bait. The word Allah, listen, the word Allah cannot be house. Okay? If that's what you're trying to trick
That's what
people
you
to
said.
believe.
You said maybe. You said maybe it was dialect and it meant the same thing. That's what you said.
Yeah,
We have the
because in
recording.
Arabic, here is what I understand about Arabic. In Arabic, like if you say Ummul Sayyara, it doesn't mean the mother of a car. It means a beautiful car. Ummul Kutub means
Okay,
the
so we
main book.
asked you about Allah and Bayt. What's your explanation for that?
Allah and a bait. Okay, well, it's not the Quran to blame here. You can't blame the Quran. What did Prophet Muhammad utter himself? Okay, so what are the words? Okay, what did Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said with his own tongue? Did he say bait or did he say Allah? We believe in what
you ask Abu Musa, he says one thing. You ask Ibn Masud, he says another thing.
That's the point.
So that's our entire point, is that you go to different companions and they say different things.
Yeah, like Hudayfa said, actually you say Allah. You say Bayt, sorry. Ibn Mas'ud said you say Allah. So it was people at the same time, both of them swearing that they heard it different ways. So we don't know which one Muhammad said.
Hudayfa heard it both ways. He heard Bayt and he heard to God, to the house.
That's so that it's there.
That's why he was confused.
Yeah.
That's why he went to Uthman.
It was people's memory problems. It was people's mixed up, confused. We don't know what happened. We'd love to know what happened. But
so our whole point is that the
let me explain to you.
They're not dialects.
Okay, well, let me explain to you. We Muslim, we believe that Quran will preserve because Allah promised to preserve the Quran. And we believe that Prophet Muhammad is the true messenger, since that he was mentioned in your Bible, even in the Hinduism scripture, New Testament, and the Old Testament, and I can give you. So since that he was mentioned,
what does it have to do with the fact that the different Qurans are not dialects? I don't get it. Okay.
You said? So since that he was prophesied in
what does this have to do with the fact that the different Qurans are not dialects? They're actually meaningful differences.
Okay, then I ask you, what Quran do percent of Muslim, the high percent of Muslim, what Quran do they read?
Okay, so you admit that point was wrong, that it's not just dialects? Do you admit that?
I believe there is an issue of a dialogue. Point number one to be noticed. I told you that I'm not knowledgeable.
So for example, the companions,
from the logic perspective, I'm giving you from the logic perspective.
Okay. For example, Majid, there's a hadith where the companions are differing about whether a particular chapter of the Quran is 35 verses or 36 verses. So that's not dialect. We're talking about there's a complete missing verse.
Yeah, missing verse.
Okay, and you see the problem here is that before you point your finger, make sure your hand is clean. That's the problem here.
Dude, what are you talking about? You're the one who brought this stuff up. We're just responding to you.
To study, and you are in the glass house.
What is he even babbling about? Muslims say, hey, the Quran's been perfectly preserved. And we say, no, it hasn't. Look at these differences. And they say, oh, that's just differences of dialects. And we say, okay, this one says Allah and this one says house. So what's going on here? Oh, maybe it means the same thing. Okay, show us that it means the same thing. Hey, you live in a glass house. What are you talking about? We don't do this. We don't do this. On what planet do we do this? On what planet are we going to say, yes, Jesus means the same thing as house?
I told you it's an issue of a dialogue. So I try to bring you. Listen, I try to bring you a point.
In what dialect does Allah mean house?
Yeah.
Which dialect? Tell us the dialect.
The dialect of the mentally
So
insane.
okay. According to you, who is to blame?
Muhammad and his companions and so on, who had a sloppy method of preserving the
But
Quran.
do you? Okay, so let me ask you this question. You know, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was prophesied in all these major religion. Do you still not believe?
First of all, bull. You say these same scriptures have been corrupted because they completely contradict your religion and your prophet. Muhammad is a false prophet according to the Old Testament and the New Testament, and the passages that you go to are beyond. When you say that these are about Muhammad, it becomes beyond ridiculous. If just for kicks and giggles, if you want to give us your best prophecy from the Quran, from the Bible about Muhammad, give us your best prophecy. What's the best, strongest prophecy in the Bible that is about Muhammad? And watch what happens when we actually read it. Watch. But I'm bringing this up. Listen. Hang on one second. I'm bringing this up because here's the issue. It's the exact same issue that we're talking about. The same guys who spend years telling you perfect dot for dot, letter for letter preservation, and you believe them, even though it's a lie. Then when the lie is exposed, then they say, it's just different dialects, which is a lie, but you believe them anyway. These are the exact same guys who tell you, Muhammad's in the Bible. Oh, really? Where is he in the Bible? And all these passages that if you read them, it doesn't fit with Islam at all. You believe the exact same. This is what we've been discussing this entire show. Why is it acceptable for your scholars and Dawa guys to lie? And no matter how many times their lies are exposed, it never, ever, ever bothers you. That I'm legitimately massively confused by this. Take any Christian scholar out there, any Christian evangelist out there. If I catch the guy lying, I'm not going to trust that guy anymore unless he has some massive change of heart and says, yes, I was a liar back then, but I've changed, and here's why I've changed. Maybe he could win back my trust at some point, but I'm not going to keep trusting a guy who keeps lying. In Islam, those are the only guys you trust. You only trust the biggest liars on the planet. But go ahead, give us your best example of a biblical prophecy about Muhammad, so we can all know he's a true prophet.
Okay, I'll give you in a second, but let me just ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. When Jesus came, they did not believe that he was a Messiah. They say that he was imposter. They reject him. And then Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came, and you people reject him. So you are doing what the Jews did.
Yeah. So did you catch that, guys? Muhammad is Jesus comes. He's performing miracles. He's walking on water. He's raising the dead. He's cleansing the lepers. And some people reject him. But Muhammad comes along. He's the most obvious false prophet in history. He can't perform any miracles. He contradicts the previous revelations. He contradicts the previous prophet. He contradicts everything and says, believe in me. And we say, what are you talking about? You're a guy who had sex with a prepubescent 9-year-old girl. You took the wife of your own adopted son after causing the divorce by lusting after her. You violate your own revelations. You think you're demon possessed. That was his first impression of his revelations. You think you're demon possessed. You claim to be a victim of black magic, a black magic spell that gives you delusional thoughts and false beliefs. You admittedly deliver revelations from the devil and then come back and say, sorry, the devil tricked me into revealing those revelations. These are the satanic verses. You are the Muhammad. If you made a list of all the criteria for spotting a false prophet, Muhammad meets all of them. So we reject him, and you say, oh, well, you reject Muhammad. How can you reject Muhammad? You're being like people who rejected Jesus, the most miraculous guy in history. It's the same thing. It is not the same thing. It's not even in the same ballpark. What?
Yeah, but do you know that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did perform miracles, but to us, miracle is not the test. We don't believe in miracles because Jesus himself that miracle is not the test. So can we please keep miracle aside?
Oh, wait, did you just say Muhammad did not perform miracles?
Good.
No, don't get it. I say he did. He did perform miracles.
He did. What?
So
the Quran is
wrong.
The Quran's wrong. The Quran's a book of lies. We have it from Majid here. The Quran, which repeatedly says Muhammad couldn't perform miracles, is a lie. Don't trust the Quran. Okay, if we don't trust the Quran, then we can't trust the one who delivered the Quran. So we can't trust Muhammad. So you just rejected Muhammad. You just rejected Muhammad.
I didn't reject him. He did
You just
split
did.
the moon.
Muhammad
spent
split the moon.
more than
Muhammad split
20
the moon.
something years studying Islam, and you didn't know that Muhammad split the moon.
Muhammad split the
And if you
moon.
look at the Quran, all the scientific miracle, like where Allah says in the Quran.
Hang on. Why does the Quran say Muhammad couldn't perform miracles when Muhammad split the moon, according to you?
To us, miracle is not the test. It's not the test. I
No.
give you the real miracle. David, I'm gonna give you the real miracle. If you read the Quran,
you just
Allah
said
says
Muhammad performed miracles. I point out that the Quran says he didn't perform miracles, which would mean if you believe he performed miracles, that the Quran is wrong. The Quran is wrong for saying he couldn't perform miracles.
Which verse
And when I say that the Quran,
which verse of the Quran say that he didn't perform miracle? But what I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to take you to the original miracle, the miracle of miracle. Because if I ask you to scientifically prove me the miracle of Jesus Christ, you cannot. So I'm giving you the real miracle. Miracles, the miracle of these days. Okay, if you read the Quran, Allah says in the Quran, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ. We create every living thing from the water. Is this not a miracle for you?
I tell you what, the real miracle is that Allah means house. That's amazing. That to me is a miracle of an Arabic.
According to you, look, let me tell you something, sister. You live the religion of Islam, the beautiful religion, the religion of peace, the religion that all these messengers of Allah, which you claim you are following, because we do not believe the Bible that you have is the Injil. The Injil, what we believe.
You just said Muhammad's in the Bible.
Yeah, I'm following the Bible that Muhammad is apparently in. So
I told you that Muhammad, okay, Jesus said, and when he came, he will testify on me.
So
I'm asking you, which prophet came from the time of Jesus till now that performed miracles?
Majid, you're all over the place. A couple of verses in the Quran where it says that Muhammad didn't perform miracles. Chapter 29, verse 50, 6, verse 109. 17.
We could give a list. 637, 637, 1020, 11, 12, 13, 7, 13, 27, 17, 59, and 29, 50 to 51. I'll just read that last one. You can go ahead and read these, and there are more. But Surah 29, 50 to 51. And they say, why are not signs sent down upon him from his Lord? Say, the signs are only with Allah, and I am only a plain warner. Is it not enough for them that we have revealed to you the book which is recited to them? Most surely there is mercy in this and a reminder for people who believe. So the question is why. They ask over and over again, why can't Muhammad perform miracles? The response is, isn't the Quran enough? And according to you, it should be enough because of the scientific miracles. And as an example, you bring up hang on, I'm quoting the verse you brought up.
Okay, go ahead.
As the example of the verse you brought up. It says, do not those, Surah 21, verse 30. The verse is, do not those who disbelieve see that the heavens and the earth were closed up, but we have opened them, and we have made of water everything living. Will they not then believe? You're saying that every living thing is made of water?
Yeah, of course.
Name one living thing that is made of water.
Okay, you don't understand the logic here because
name one living thing that is made of water.
You are made of water.
I'm not made of water. I'm made of all kinds of things. Hydrogen, oxygen.
Yeah, but what? Okay, go ahead.
I'm made of a bunch of things. In fact, according to the Quran, human beings are made of a bunch of things.
Are you not 75% water?
Am I made of water?
Scientifically.
No, I'm not made of water. I could give you all the water in the world. You would never get a human being. You would never get a cat. You would never get a tree. You need a bunch of things for this. Why are you saying we're made of water? We're not made of water. A snowman could be made of water. A snowman could be made of water.
Okay, what about this? Okay, you reject this verse, but I believe it.
Because here's the thing. When you actually read the Quran, it's talking about the water that everything reproduces by. Semen. It's an Islamic euphemism for reproducing by semen, and that's what it looks like according to your Muslim sources. And if you want to say it's a miracle, guess what? Centuries before Muhammad, the guy who is regarded as the first philosopher, Thales of Miletus, he said that everything is made of water, and therefore you'd have to regard him as a prophet.
What
But you
about
don't.
مرج البحرين يتقيان بينه وما برزق الأديان?
Majid, if everything is made of water, what is jinn made from?
Jinn are made of. Jinn are made of.
What is it?
What are they made of? Jinn are living things, aren't they?
Yep. What are they made from, Majid? What did you
What
start?
are jinn made from?
They are ruh. What you don't understand is jinns
Yeah,
are ruh.
Wait, why don't you answer?
Yeah, what is just for people who don't know?
Have you ever seen a jinn? Have you ever? I'm asking you a question. Have you ever seen a jinn? Spirit has no flesh and bone. Okay. Jesus said that.
Water is spirit?
For a spirit has no flesh and bone.
Okay, just for people who don't know, one can measure. Just for people who don't know, what does the Quran say jinn is made from?
Okay, I know it. I think
Yeah,
Jesus.
answer it. What does the Quran say jinn is made from? Just for people who don't know.
I think, is it angel that are made from light?
Yeah, angels are made from light.
What about jinn?
What is jinn from in the Quran?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Fire.
I know, but I forget it. I know, but I forget.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's not the issue. So angels are made from light. Jinn are made from fire. Are jinn and are angels and jinn living things? Are they alive?
Have you ever seen a jinn and angel?
I'm asking you. They are living. Are they living things? Are angels and jinn living? Are angels and jinn living? That's like the simplest. That's like the simplest question I could possibly ask you. Are angels and jinn living? Do they live?
I see where you're trying to go. Okay, you see, angels and jinn, they are ruh. I've never seen an angel, but I believe there is an angel. I've never seen a jinn, but I believe there is a jinn. When we talk about,
do you believe they are alive? Do you believe they live?
Yeah, they live.
Okay.
They live, but you what? Okay, now listen.
So they live. They live. No, guys. Everyone watching. We just read the Quran, which says Allah made every living thing from water. Get that? Allah made every living thing from water. According to Islam, angels and jinn are living things. What are angels and jinn made from? From water? No, angels are made from light. Jinn are made from water. I mean, jinn are made from fire. They're not made from water.
We're talking about.
I'm saying the main verse you brought up as a scientific miracle. Actually, we've shown that the Quran the Quran contradicts your interpretation here, and therefore, if Allah is saying every living thing is made of water, and angels and jinn are living things, and angels and jinn are made of light and fire respectively, then the Quran is wrong. So the verse you went to actually contradicts Islam.
Beautiful.
All right, and there it is. That's the 3-hour mark.
Thanks for coming.
We ended that one where dude, it ran itself into a corner, man. Everything is made out of water, but jinn and angels.
Isn't this amazing? I mean, this is multiple times now. We've just opened up the floor for Muslims. Hey, the other day it was, hey, if you believe Muhammad's a prophet, give us your case for Muhammad being a prophet. Today it's, hey, you believe in the preservation of the Quran? Explain it to us. Is one person, even a Muslim, after watching this, at all convinced that the Quran has somehow been miraculously or amazingly preserved? This is what we're talking about. You have a Dawa guy. A Dawa guy tells people something, and it's completely false and indefensible, but the Ummah will believe it. They'll just go along with it. Oh, he said it, so let's all just run with it. And we see when you say, okay, actually defend what you believe, they can't do it. They can't do it at all. Why? Because it's a lie. It's made up, and it never, ever, ever bothers them. I don't even know what to do at this point. It's weird. What a religion, man.
You know something, that verse where it says all living things are made of water, living things, that same word is used for Allah, saying he's like living.
Al-Hayy, one of his names is the living.
The living. So I guess Allah, apart from being just a house, he's also made out of water.
Every living thing is made out of water. But wait, guys. Angels and jinns, hey, accept that. I've even heard someone try to make a case for jinn. when they use that verse. They're like, oh well, fire contains some form of element of
Yeah,
water.
Allah made the water that he turned into fire and then made the
Right.
analogy.
Fire contains an element of water. So yep, there it is. And
But think about that, because it's the exact same thing. Where did he get the idea that 2130 contains a miracle and that this is miraculous knowledge? But by doing research, by looking this up, by looking up the tafsirs and what they say about this and concluding that it's actually miraculous knowledge? No, he heard it from a Dawa guy. And it's the same Dawa guy who tells him all these other lies, which, again, they acknowledge these scientific miracles have been debunked. Ali Dawa famously made multiple videos saying, guys, stop using this. It's been debunked. And he says, look around at all the other Dawa guys. I say it's been debunked. Why is no other Dawa guy calling me out and saying, no, I'm wrong? Because they all know this argument has been debunked. So you got the Dawa guys. They lie to people for years. The community absorbs the idea that there are these scientific miracles. Then the Dawa guys come out. Oh, yeah, we were lying the entire time. It was all just a bunch of lies. But the Ummah will still keep believing it. And even after they bring forth their best example and it's exposed as complete nonsense, they'll still keep believing the exact same Dawa guy. I've never seen anything like this. It's amazing, but I mean, it looks demonic, I would have to say.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, Life, I know you said you gotta get going, but should we do like a speed run through the super chats?
Sure, if you want to, yeah. We'll just start from the beginning. So we got Bruce that says goats are greater than Allah because didn't a goat eat some pages of the Quran, which Allah's words?
Yeah, that would actually tie in. That would actually tie in with what? Who was it? Was it Majid? Someone was just saying, "Hey, we believe Allah promised to protect the Quran, so we believe Him." That's the issue, right? If you say Allah promised to protect the Quran, and then He couldn't protect the Quran from a sheep or a goat, depending on the source, but a sheep or a goat ate some of the Quran that has never been recovered. A goat or a sheep is more powerful than Allah.
Yep. Yeah, that it's like a domesticated animal. It could be sheep, could be goat, some small domesticated animal. Yeah, praise God. Praise God for AP's journey. Yeah. Praise God.
And Omar says, AP, congratulations. Dr. Wood, will you be there for his baptism? If I'm invited, I'll probably go for it.
Nice.
Powerful. Prayers for our Muslim friends. May they turn to the true Jesus, our God and Savior. Amen. Amen.
You would please, who talked to Momo, that the dude he was talking to was the angel Gabriel. Did Gabriel introduce himself to Momo, or he needed someone to explain to him that he is called Gabriel?
Well, you got the Muslim sources about Muhammad's encounter with Gabriel in the cave. The sources are pretty sketchy, but supposedly Gabriel revealed himself to Muhammad, but Muhammad he doesn't know what's going on, and all of a sudden he's got these verses in his head, and so he thinks it's some sort of poetry jinn or poetry demon or something like this. So he runs home to his wife. She's terrified, and her and her cousin Waraka are the ones who convince him, hey, this is actually an angel. But Muslims would generally believe that Gabriel's identifying himself, and if they read those sources, they'd conclude probably that Muhammad was just confused, and that's why he had to be talked into this belief by other people.
Yeah. Plus, he would also identify Dahya al-Kalbi as well as
Gabriel.
as Gabriel too.
We're figuring out what really happened.
Yeah.
God bless you all for exposing the current corrupted Uthmanic post BBQ Quran for what it is.
Yes.
We all know that the original true Quran with Abdullah ibn Mas'ud was 117 chapters according to Ibn Trust Me Bro. Exposed. Yeah.
Muslim logic. Is it in the Quran? Number one. Number two, is it in the Hadith? Number 3, is it sahih? Number 4, what does the scholar say? Number 5, you don't understand the logic. Number 6, inshallah, Allah knows best. Then yeah, bang head against the wall. Yep, pretty accurate.
That's a good one.
Simply put, for you Muslims, how does this not turn your stomach knowing our books came first and your books stole from ours? Without our books, your Quran has no legs to stand on.
But Allah only has one leg.
2 feet. Like a mermaid.
In Syria right now, my Christian brother, yes,
dying.
yes, Christians are dying to the hands of Muslims, a religion of lies and deceit. Yes, very sad, very tragic what's going on in Syria right now, and Christians are like sort of like collateral damage. The Alawites are being targeted, being slaughtered. Even children, they're not. You know, Muslims are like, oh, we don't go for children, we don't go for women. Well, they're doing men, women, and children. And if Christians are in the way too, yeah, Christians too. If Yazidis or anyone who's in the way, they'll take them. So yeah, our prayers are to our brothers and sisters in Syria as well, and to the, you know, to the people getting slaughtered by Muslims as well. We pray for them as well. Mr. Wood, life, Jai&Doc, God bless you all. God bless you as well, Oval Office. It's actually the foundation of Islam. The foundation of Islam is based on lies. It survived on lies. The number 1, that Gabriel was in the cave. Number 2, Muhammad is a prophet. Number 3, Muhammad can be found in the Bible. Yeah. Chris from One Way Apologetics says, Salam Masih, Mufti Dizzle, Jai&Doc, and my man Life. God bless the panel. God bless you too, Brother Chris.
Islam offers the promise of superiority to ignorant people. Just don't question it.
Yeah, don't ask questions.
That is the real draw of Islam. It just says, hey, just mindlessly go along with any idiotic thing Muhammad said, and this puts you in the category of the best of peoples ever raised up for mankind. And if you don't mindlessly believe any idiotic thing Muhammad said, then you're the worst of creatures. So it's just, just mindlessly, really, all I have to do is mindlessly go along with any idiotic thing this 7th century Arabian caravan robber said while he's banging a 9-year-old girl. And that makes me one of the best people who's ever lived. And I'm superior to all these other people around me. Oh yes, sign me up. Sign me up. That's Islam.
Yep.
Jinn, fire water, you see?
Firewater. Yes, it's firewater.
Firewater. That's the answer.
The jinn are made from firewater.
Firewater.
The proof. How could Allah have known that jinn are made from firewater? Scientific miracle. Did you know that NASA just discovered that jinn are made of firewater? It's been confirmed. Trust me, bro.
That's how they answer for that verse. Firewater.
And then angels are made from firelight. Hey, no, light water.
Light water.
Allah says he made humans from clay, 26. In another verse, he created them from dust, 359. And he said from a clean substance, blood. Oh yeah, the leech, 96 too. And finally, he said he made them from nothing, 52.
It's like
35.
He's like baking a cake here. We're going to take a little clay, and we're going to take some dust, and we're going to take a little bit of nothing here, and stir it all up into some water, stick it in the oven, and boom.
Stir it all up. Clay water.
Clay water. Clay water.
Patty cake. Bake me a man.
Thank you, Aisha's God bless you.
Thank you very much. Can we pray for Christians in Syria and other countries?
Yes, please do, for Christians all around the world who are suffering persecution, Syria and other countries as well. Yes, definitely do pray for them.
Amen. Is that,
Yeah, I
that's,
think that's it. There it is,
Oh,
right there.
uh,
There it is, right there. All right, man. I gotta go, guys. God bless you guys for doing really good during this stream. It's very entertaining. And yeah, I mean, like we saw, man, there isn't answers for any of this stuff. It's just diversion, baseless claims. And when you get an honest guy like the guy that we had earlier, I think he was the first one that came onto the stream. He'll listen to what you're saying, and honestly, if you have to go do research, but we know how that's gonna go. Either he's just gonna come back and deny it, or he's gonna see the issue and maybe take the steps to leave Islam. But the rest of the guests, were relatively hard-headed, and they didn't want to see the truth, what was being stated, and they actually had no real answers to it. I mean,
No, and
even
it all just proves the point, right? It's here's what
right.
we've been told. Okay, we can show you that what you've been told is demonstrably false. I don't mean difference of opinion. If you've been told, hey, this is just a difference of dialects, we could show that is completely false.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the hard-headedness, those are the ones that are in the category of I believe this, and you say, okay, here's all the proof that what you just said is false, and never crosses their mind to doubt their Dawa guy. So yeah, fortunately there was we occasionally get someone who's, I'm going to look into this, but that's not standard in Islam, sadly.
yeah.
Yep. It was funny. Just before we go off, I was looking at that argument reminded me of like I used to use this argument a lot because I mean it's a clear contradiction, right? Every living thing is made of water, and then you ask them about jinn and angels. One of the answers that I got was so dishonest. It was like, when he said every living thing, he doesn't really mean every living thing. He means every living thing that matches with what he's saying. And when you find something that wasn't made of water, then he doesn't mean that. So everything doesn't mean everything. And he gave an example like, oh, if my little brother was eating a bag of chips and I said, give me some. And he said, oh, I ate everything. He said, oh, that doesn't mean he ate everything in the world, right? It's like, bro, what is going on, man? So now every living thing doesn't mean every living thing in Islam anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, it just means some things, the things that just happen to have
Some composition of water.
But to say like things that's made of water, it's so scientifically clumsy. Like no scientist ever talks like that, because everything is made of such complex chemicals and compositions. Like this is someone so primitive.
Yeah, that's why I point out there's not one living thing that's made of water. You have to have other stuff. You have to be made. You have to be made from multiple things, and it gets combined in a certain way. But anyway, yeah. So no living thing is made of water, as far as we know.
No. Plus, virus is not made of water. Bacteria are not made of water. There are certain things that aren't. That's just a microscopic, atoms. You can just. It's just someone who doesn't know anything talks like that.
Yep. All right, cool. Well, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream now, guys. Hopefully, Logic is gonna be here Wednesday. I mean, that is the set time that he set. So we should be back Wednesday. If not, we'll figure out another stream for Wednesday. But I think he'll be ready Wednesday, guys. All right. So God bless you guys. Thank you for joining, and we will see you on the next stream.